From August to September, you know that means we're closer and closer to the kickoff of the 2016 NFL season. And tonight, nice night for football. A little bit of humidity out there. We had some showers pass through earlier in the day. Buckets of rain, to be honest with you, as we ventured our way over here. Time now to head down to the field. Take a look at our Putnam Spotlight Player of the Game. And here's Matt Chatham. Matt.
Guys, a unique opportunity on this evening to see a guy that we haven't seen at all in training camp or any of these preseason games. Tonight, my eye will be on Barkevious Mingo, the trade from the Cleveland Browns, former 6th overall pick. He has a great opportunity tonight to reinvent himself. He's been an edge player in Cleveland. That didn't work out at times. We saw him more recently, even in preseason of this game, as an off-the-ball linebacker. An opportunity potentially to be a coverage player in some situations, maybe rush from up the ball. Find a job that fits his skill set best. That's what New England's all about. A great opportunity tonight for Mingo.
Thank you, Matt Chatham. Bill Belichick, 17 seasons now with the New England Patriots. And again, Christian, I go back to the fact that this guy is 13 straight seasons with 10 or more wins.
Yeah, it's incredible what he's been able to do, and the fact that he still likes doing it. He just keeps going, grinding it out, and never gets tired of it.
Remarkable consistency. As we told you just a few moments ago, roster is a big part of what's going on here in preseason game number 4, Saturday, cut-down day. That's an important date to look at. And then 10 practice squad players on Sunday before September 11th, the regular season opener at the Cardinals. How do you look at this, Christian? What do you remember it as a player? Were you nervous on a night like this? Or, I mean, you were great anyway.
I was lucky. I mean, honestly, I was lucky. I never really had to worry about it. But, I mean, there's a lot of guys that, again, we talked about it in the open, that are fighting for their lives and fighting for their football futures. But just because they don't make the 53-man roster doesn't mean that they're not going to be on the team. I mean, there's guys that have been undrafted free agents that have made this team. In fact, I mean, a rookie free agent has made the Patriots Week 1 roster in 11 straight seasons. So just because you don't make the team doesn't mean that you're not on the team. You can be on the practice squad. Maybe another team is watching you, checking you out. Maybe they need an Aaron Dobson on their team. Maybe they need a Clay Harbor at tight end. So the audition continues, even though there may not be a spot for you on this team.
New York Giants won the toss, electing to receive. Stephen Gostkowski will provide the opening kickoff duties as Bobby Rainey back to receive for the New York Giants. And we are underway here at MetLife Stadium. Goes through the end zone, and again, keep in mind the new rule starting out this season. It comes to the 25-yard line, a difference of 5 yards when you get that touchback.
Yeah, and a big discussion was were kickoff teams and special teams coaches going to still try and manipulate this kickoff team and try and maybe kick it to the second up guy. We saw guys like Geno Grissom taking returns just in case James Devlin was another guy taking kickoffs.
Most of the starters out on New England's defense to start. Ryan Nassib getting the start at quarterback for the New York Giants. Eli Manning on the bench to start. And Nassib's going to throw on first down. Looking down the sideline, incomplete. Malcolm Butler with some good defense right there. Nice coverage. The intended receiver, Victor Cruz, the kid out of UMass.
Yeah, it's not a surprise. I remember last year they did the same thing, but it was Odell Beckham Jr. That's great, nice coverage, tight coverage right there by Malcolm Butler. And Victor Cruz, haven't seen him in a while, but nice job by Malcolm Butler.
Second down from Nassib and the Giants. Going to run the football, not go very far. Rashad Jennings swarmed by a group of Patriots. Tell you what, Christian, the Patriots defense, watching that game again last week, the Patriots defense, that first unit, very impressive. They picked up here where they left off last week, just 2 plays in.
Yeah, and the Giants are going in hurry-up offense right now, keeping this unit on the field. You see Dron Harmon have to run off real quick. They're trying to keep this package on there, and so far, 2 good plays by the defense, and they've been starting good the last 3 games.
Loss of 4.
Looks like they call him timeout.
Yeah, Dante Hightower's trying to get it. And he does. We get a flag down. Wait for the call.
First charge timeout, New England. 30-second timeout.
Rhode Island's own Gene Steratore is tonight's referee.
You know, we talked about this defense a lot, and I think the defense, I mean, they've been dominating. I mean, just in the preseason alone, 8 takeaways, 34 points. That's the most important thing about that little stat right there. Is not only are you getting the ball, but you're doing something with it. Your defensive backs are intercepting it and scoring it. Somebody fumbles it, you're picking it up. If you give the offense good field position, they're closing it out.
Patriots charged with their first timeout. Yeah, last week we saw the Rutgers connection. Ryan, Harmon, and McCourty come up with interceptions.
That was a great day for the Scarlet Knights.
See if they can do that again close to home. Nassib. That's banged and knocked down. Hightower in. And the Patriots defense does a nice job.
Yeah, and you can see Nassib, he was waiting. He wanted to go deep. But you see, here comes Jamie Collins. There's a good press by Hightower on the outside, and there comes the big paw right there. Gets his hand on it. That's Chris Long again. I mean, again, with pressure outside, inside. One of the standouts in Cam, and they're holding him. They can't stop him. Nobody's been able to block Chris Long so far this year.
Yeah, he was all over the field last week. Brad Wing on the punt, and DJ Foster, the undrafted rookie free agent, on the field. Returning the punt, gets a few to the 40, still on his feet. Nice job. Up to about the 43-yard line, where New England will take over 1st and 10 as Tom Brady leads the offense onto the field for the New England Patriots.
Yeah, here comes Tom. He had a good day last week against Carolina Panthers. 3 for 9, 76 yards, including that 33-yard touchdown pass to Chris Hogan. But I think he really feels like he left a lot out there, had a couple drops, missed Martellus Bennett. I'm sure he's anxious to get out there again and get a nice long drive, sustained drive down there, but he wants to finish with points. And he's got Julian Edelman out there, Dobson, Hogan, and Martellus Bennett. So he's got a nice little crew out there to throw to.
White goes in motion. He joins Brady in the backfield. Edelman takes it, and he takes a hit. Knocked down pretty quickly on the play by Trevin Wade, 4th year cornerback out of Arizona.
And Brady's going to do the same thing. They're not huddling up. They're going to hurry up. This isn't a 2-minute drill, but it's okay, let's go with a nice brisk pace here.
Loss of 4. Brady steps up in the pocket, avoids the rush, looks deep for Edelman, and it's incomplete.
So, you know, a lot of people get on Brady for not being the fastest guy, but he really doesn't need to. Watch him just maneuver inside the pocket. He's not panicking. He's trying to look downfield, look for something. And here's the end of the play right here. There goes Julian Edelman trying to come back on it.
That's what you don't want to see.
Yeah, you know, I always get a little nervous when he gets hit, but
3rd down now.
Even when it's incomplete, he's looking downfield.
Brady on 3rd down, steps up, he's pressured. Holding. Still with time, now throws it away.
Yeah, and he's not happy right now. He's yelling at somebody. I think it's looks like
he just said, let's go 11. I heard that.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 91, 5-yard penalty, automatic. 1st down.
See, that's just as good as a completion. I mean, you know, a guy like Edelman is going to draw some holds because he's just too quick. Brady knows it. Nobody was open, got some pressure. Edelman forced the defender to hold him because he's about to get beat. If he doesn't, it's going to be a 1st down. So you get a fresh set of downs. 1st and 10, and they can start all over again. And he's not worried about anything. He's flat out open right now. He can go anywhere with the football.
Ready to throw again. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of Martellus Bennett as he was given a pop over the middle by Nat Verhey.
And that's the type of stuff that you see with Brady now. He lets this the play clock run. Here's Martellus Bennett. And what you don't see, you're going to have a flat and then a quick slant. But what you don't see is Brady giving Martellus and Edelman to call. Is he trying to fake him out, or did he adjust it at the line of scrimmage?
Early stages of the 1st quarter here at MetLife Stadium. Ready to throw again.
That's PI.
Nearly picked off, and
that's a penalty, and they're not calling it.
I believe it was. They're going to give him the pick. Aaron Dobson, the intended receiver. Trevin Wade with the interception.
And you watch Wade. Wade's going to come back, and as soon as the ball is thrown, he's hitting them before the ball is even reaching them. And that's not the way you want to start. You look at Brady, he's like, you know what? Are you kidding me right now? I'm like, I need to get some drives going.
Well, Tom will take a seat on the bench. Patriots defense will return when we return.
But don't rush. There's going to be a lot of guys that are fighting for a position, fighting for a job. Don't push it. Don't panic. Don't be anxious. Stay in your game. Do what you've been taught to do, and then it'll work out for you.
Jets on their second possession at midfield after the Wade interception. The Giants, rather. I'm in the home of the Jets and Giants. Nassib to throw deep. Looking, and it goes out of bounds. Malcolm Butler with the defense. Sterling Shepard, a rookie out of Oklahoma, the intended receiver.
So far, they're testing Malcolm Butler. They tested him with Victor Cruz, and then they bring the rookie Sterling Shepard out of Oklahoma, who had an unbelievable career at Oklahoma, and he's out of bounds. Malcolm Butler, perfect position. Look, he's not even in, and Sterling Shepard is out of bounds. It doesn't matter if that's a perfect throw. It's not going to matter. Find somebody else to test. 2-0 right now against two of their best receivers.
Stay away from Malcolm. Nassib again to throw. And he gets the ball complete to Shane Vereen, covered by Jamie Collins.
You know what, Matt? I know Matt's down there and I want to get him in on this. I'm surprised people test Malcolm Butler right off the bat. It's like he hasn't proven that he's one of the better corners in the NFL.
Yeah, they test him early and they test him long. They've tested the Patriots, period. It hasn't actually been Malcolm each week, but we've seen shot plays early in each of these preseason games. They passed the test tonight.
No yards on the completion to the former Patriot Vereen. So here on third down, Nassib completes the pass to Shepard. Justin Coleman on the coverage, and a first down for the Giants.
Yeah. And that's a pretty pass by Nassib, and he's thrown to Shepard again, who, in my opinion, is going to be a star in this league at some point in time. Just a really good player. Coleman does everything he can to stay up with him, but it's just a perfectly thrown pass.
Gain of 13 on the play, 1st and 10 in Patriots territory. Nassib to throw again, incomplete. Intended receiver was Larry Donnell, the tight end.
I mean, again, this might not show up on the stats, but Dante Hightower on Eric Flowers. Here's Eric Flowers right here. Okay, now watch him come back, and Dante Hightower is way over here. He's just not even going to go at a full sprint. Why at the last minute, he does a little hop step, gets leverage underneath the offensive tackle, pushes him back, and affects that throw. He's not going to get credited for a sack, or maybe a hurry, but he affected that play.
On second down, Nassib affected by Jamie Collins. Took a big hit as he tried to throw the ball to Cruz. Wow,
Rolling
athleticism
on the field,
right
a backward
there.
pass out of bounds at the spot that the ball went out of bounds, third down.
He does such a good job of timing these up.
Let's listen to this play.
At perfect timing. Right now, you talk about communication by the offensive line. So far, the Patriots' defensive line, linebackers included, defensive backs, they're having their way right now with the Giants.
I think Eli Manning's pretty happy he didn't play tonight. The way the Patriots defense has started. Third down and 20. Just going to safely run the ball. It's Vereen. Gets some good yards, but won't be near the first down.
Seen that before.
Yeah, old friend Shane Vereen. Look back at him, Christian. He set a Super Bowl record for catches by a running back. 11 in that Super Bowl against Seattle. You tend to forget that.
Well, no, and there was a guy that was, he was up and down with his career, showed a lot of signs of being a good player. Never really knew if he was going to be great or not, and that he showed up in that Super Bowl.
Brad Wing again to punt. Julian Edelman back inside his 10-yard line to receive that punt. Fair catch called for and taken by the Patriots. There's Shane Vereen in a Giant uniform. Tom Brady and the Pats come out when we return. Again here in New Jersey, but first let's go back to Foxborough, or up to Foxborough, the Bob's Discount Furniture Studio. Andy Hart and Paul Perillo. Gentlemen.
Well, Rochi, the quarterbacks have been the story all summer, training camp, preseason action, so why wouldn't they be the story tonight, the fourth preseason game? Tom Brady getting the start because your starter never starts the fourth preseason game, so Jimmy Garoppolo gets the night off. I don't know if I love the decision. I would have liked to have seen Garoppolo get a chance to get some positive momentum, but Bill's going to do what Bill wants to do.
Brady on first down, dropped by Edelman.
It's Hogan.
By Hogan. Yep, Chris Hogan, rather, on the intended receiver. Paul, your thoughts on Brady?
Yeah, interesting. Like Andy said, it's interesting to have Brady out there and not have Garoppolo. I would have thought that Garoppolo could have benefited a little bit from some of these snaps, but obviously Bill felt differently, and now there's a lot of problems in pass protection.
The second down, they run the football. DJ Foster gets a couple to set up third and long.
One thing to note, guys, Chris Barker makes the move now to right guard. That's something we've seen switch out and out throughout this preseason. Josh Klein started the first series. That really seems to be the one position on this starting offense that's unsettled.
On third down, Bennett, Edelman, Foster left. Brady scrambling, throws complete to Hogan for a first down. Christian, we saw Tom Brady get hit earlier, hit hard. He wanted to play in these games, in these situations. This is what he wants. Why does he need this as he gets ready to take a month off?
Watch the unbelievable pocket presence right here. Sidesteps. He doesn't want to run. He has no desire to run downfield. He can't get away from anybody anyways, but he's keeping his eyes downfield. And Hogan, watch him come back to the football, secure the catch, and they get a fresh set of downs.
And on first down, an incompletion to Keyshawn Martin.
But other than that, he hasn't been great right now with his throws. He missed earlier with Julian Edelman. Kind of didn't throw a great pass right there to Keyshawn Martin. That throw right there to Hogan was an excellent throw to keep that drive alive. But so far, it seems like he's been struggling to really get his timing down. And the Giants haven't been helping things because they've been pressuring him also.
Nate Solder just came off the field. Cameron Fleming takes his place. Solder being looked at by Jim Whalen, trainer of New England. Here on second down, Brady complete over the middle.
Yeah, on the Solder situation, Rochi, he took himself out of the game and ran off the field under his own power, moving pretty quickly, but motioning quickly to the sideline to get someone in. So they had to do a quick, almost like a hockey exchange there to get Cam Fleming in time.
Here's Brady to Foster. 3 defenders on him. He gets to the 40-yard line. It'll set up a second down. Let's take a look back, Christian, at Nate Solder here.
Yeah, you're trying to see what happened to him. It looks like he got hurt before. It's his left. Oh, it's his hamstring. It looks like it's his hamstring. Yeah, you see Jim Whalen right there giving him a little massage on the sideline.
Key number one, stay healthy, right?
Yeah,
that's the one thing you don't like to see. 2nd and 5 at the 41 for Brady.
And if that's what he has, that's one of those nagging injuries that just never goes away.
Quick pass complete. Martellus Bennett near a first down.
And so far, you've seen Brady really kind of distributing the ball out to a bunch of different players. Nice little route. And there's the team doctor right there. And the last thing they can do is lose Nate Solder. They already are without Sebastian Vollmer. Cameron Fleming going to left tackle. Marcus Cannon at right.
Fleming, third-year player out of Stanford. 3rd and short for Brady. Ball tipped, nearly picked off over the middle. Landon Collins, the kid out of Alabama. And off comes the offense again after they sputter.
And guys, that's an interesting quirk that Cam Fleming did make that run out there. We'd seen Adrian Waddle at that backup left tackle spot most of camp. So for them to, was that a pre-planned thing, or was he the guy that was able to run out there quickly? But for whatever reason, they're giving Cam Fleming a longer look at left now.
And I was just going to say that the one thing that looks like it's been set is that the 5 spots on that offensive line, 4 of them have pretty much been solidified. You were really kind of looking at that right guard position with 3 different guys starting at that position so far this preseason. That's a nice punt.
Ryan Allen with a booming high punt that stops just inside the 5-yard line. Nicely done by the Patriot punter. Patriots defense with another chance when we come back.
I don't think anyone's going to be out for a long period of time, but you just hope that number 77, Nate Solder, isn't added to that list. I mean, this is a guy that you've been counting on, and you need that protection on that left side. Not that Cameron Fleming can't do it, but you're counting on big number 77, former Colorado Buffalo, to take that spot and really secure that backside.
Well, you talk about Sebastian Vollmer already on the reserve PUP list, the possibility of not coming back. To lose Solder would be huge for this Patriots team. Huge blow for the offense. After the beautiful Allen punt, Patriots defense hitting the Giants inside the 5-yard line. Speaking of injuries, let's go to Andy Hart. You're an injury, Andy, but let's continue to talk about injuries. Go ahead.
No, I'm feeling good tonight, Rochi, but 2 guys that jump off that graphic with the injuries is Rob Ninkovich one. We talked to him in the locker room this week. He's been upbeat. Everyone was surprised how quickly he got back on the practice field. He was doing his rehab work. We saw him walking through the locker room with a big arm brace on. I feel like he's inching his way back and itching to get out there. Wouldn't stun me if he were out there week 1. And then Danny Amendola, to me, is a major question mark. Is he going to be on the active roster to start the season, or is he going to be on PUP for the first 6 weeks? And how does that affect the rest of the receiver position?
Well, what do you think, Christian? We've seen Amendola a lot during training camp. We just haven't seen him in pads and going full boat here. Remember, he was one of those guys, along with Brady and Edelman, that had a hard time even putting their shirt on after that AFC Championship game against Denver. Was really banged up.
And they put Vollmer on PUP. They put Deion Lewis, and obviously those guys maybe for easier reasons. Maybe he's close. If they haven't put him on there yet, maybe they hope that he's maybe a couple days away.
On 3rd down, Nassib throws incomplete. Another nice job by the Patriots defense. Johnson, Brown, all in.
And there's Chris Long again, just bringing a spark to this defense. Here is at your bottom of your to the right of your screen right there. He's just gonna come upfield and watch the hand movement, watch the feet. Look how he slaps the hand and cuts the corner. You got a lot of help from inside also.
Matt, what have you seen from Chris Long down on field level? The last 2 weeks, he's been really dominant out there.
He's so resourceful, guys. That's the first thing I would say. He's got a lot of counter moves, and he's got a great motor. And he's strong. He's stronger than what you expect from a 260-pound guy. You're talking about Chris Long. You're talking about a guy who's got a very, very deep tool belt of things he can go to.
Some good action so far. Tom Brady getting hit. Patriots defense doing some hitting. Brady when we return. Preseason games has been the offensive line, the depth. Christian, what are you thinking here? Right guard has certainly been the big place we've been watching all preseason.
Yeah, we got Jonathan Cooper in there right now, but there's been 3 different guys that have played in that position. And you look down at the bottom, there's been, they usually average 9 guys as far as offensive linemen. That's been since 2000. So there's, out of those 5, there's 3 guys that'll also make this team.
Chris Parker's in there now as Brady goes to Bennett. Bennett fumbled the ball, but they're going to rule it down. The official is saying Bennett was down, no fumble.
That's a good call.
The ruling on the field is down by contact. 2nd down, New England.
Let's see if his knee's down on the ground. Makes one miss. Watch his knee. No, they may review that one. They are going to review that one because watch, the ball comes out. Yeah, before his knee even hits the ground. That's a fumble. That's going to be Giants ball. That's 2 turnovers now in the first quarter for the pass offense.
New York is challenging the ruling on the field of down by contact. Timeout.
We'll have the verdict when we return. See if the Patriots and Brady turn the ball over. Come back here at MetLife Stadium. Looks like we have a verdict on the replay challenge, or the challenge by the New York Giants. First, Gene gets a little drink, and now he's ready. A little humid out there, Gene.
Blue Gatorade.
After review, the ruling is a catch, fumble, recovered by the New York Giants. The ball will be placed on the 40-yard line on the hash mark nearest the Giants bench. Would the game clock operator please reset the game clock to 6 minutes, 19 seconds. New York is not charged with a timeout.
Coming into tonight, Christian, the Patriots had 1 turnover in the preseason, 2 now tonight.
Yeah, and this is a non-contact fumble. I mean, if the defender doesn't knock it out, Bennett tries to switch hands while he's going down to the ground. He just kind of loses it.
Andrew Adams with the contact for the Giants. And it was Montori Hughes with the recovery. Here's Nassib on first down, going deep against Coleman. Coleman with the pick, but out of bounds. Good coverage. Ball intended for Roger Lewis of the Giants.
Now, again, this is the 3rd time they've gone deep. Just a different cornerback now. And again, they all got the same technique. Look, nice arm ball right there. He's looking for the football, pushing him out of bounds. The sideline is your friend. And look at that nice job. And there's a good hit by Johnson. Let him know you're there.
Among those with the pressure, Christian, was Barkevious Mingo, getting his first opportunity in a Patriot uniform since being acquired from the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, they had him on the edge, working on the offensive left tackle. Now, if you get more opportunities like that, you're going to see him on some 3rd down, maybe some 1st, 2nd down looks, just in an obvious passing situation so he can show his athleticism, his speed.
Here we go on 3rd down. Nassib with time, now pressured out of the pocket. Mingo chases him down and knocks him down, forces the fumble. We'll see who gets it. But what a job, and what a welcome to New England moment for Barkevious Mingo.
Yeah, I just told you about it. This guy's got some speed. He wasn't a 6th overall pick for nothing. There he is, making a big play in his first game. And this is all just hustle. This is a guy, there he is right here. The ball's going to go this way. Nassib's going to start running away from the play, and watch him. Beats the back, get out of my way, and watch him chase him down. First ball, I can't get him, and has the enough awareness, not just to make the tackle, but to strip it out of the quarterback's hand. So somebody, watch his right hand. Whap, there it goes. Tackle him, rip it out of his hands, and there's Geno Grissom right there to pick up the fumble.
We got unnecessary roughness, illegal use of the hands, defense, number 52, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic. First down.
That's a heartbreaker right there.
I was going to say, Christian, we got to see really the 3 things that Mingo does, the stuff he does well and the stuff he struggles with. The first was against a big offensive tackle, got punched, got knocked back a little bit, had a nice counter. His next rep, they played him as an off-the-ball linebacker, a little bit involved in the tackle. That last play, they slid the line away from him, which means he's aligned against the back. That's the matchup he wants, not the big O tackle. He can use his speed and beat the man.
Orleans Darkwa recovered that, and the personal foul was on Landon Roberts, and now we've got another ball loose. We'll wait and get a sign. The Patriots believe they have the turnover, and they do. The New England Patriots defense has been opportunistic all preseason long, and they've done it again. Rufus Johnson emerges, Anthony Johnson emerges with the ball.
And there he is right here. Now watch it. Using his speed, recognizing the play, more importantly, not giving up. Watch him chase. Knocks the ball out of his hands. Now he knows he's already affected the play. He's already fired up and happy. Yeah, going the other way, fellas. Bring Brady back out there. Watch him come into your screen. There you go. Great job by the cornerback. What was that, Coleman?
Yep.
Coleman has a big impact on that play also, but it's the chase by Mingo.
He's a pursuit player, guys. That's really what you saw on film. Even with Cleveland, they stopped using him as an edge guy against the big tackles, but you let him run in space in these nickel and dime situations, and man, the guy still has a ton of skill.
And that is what the defense is evolving to, just these tweener players who normally didn't have a spot, and now they're just on all these 3rd down looks and all these passing downs.
On a first down, LeGarrette Blount runs the football. We got a flag down on the play. By the way, Adrian Waddle is in at the right tackle spot. Josh Klein at the right guard. Fleming on the left tackle.
Offense, number 68. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
It's not a good way to start. And there's Mingo right there. Man, I tell you what, this is the type of guy that is going to fit perfectly into this offense. You've already kind of seen him on punt. You've seen him on a bunch of special teams. That's what he was really regulated to when he was in Cleveland, played a lot of special teams. But they're going to find a home for him.
I think so. It's specialty role. You used a great word there. They can kind of pick and choose their battles with him. They've got plenty of talent around him. But when they find a mismatch, he's that guy.
Bill Belichick's been so effective at bringing in guys to fit what Matt Patricia and that defense want to do in certain situations. After the penalty on Waddle, Brady fires it complete over the middle. Plenty of protection there for Brady, and Edelman, familiar face with the reception.
And again, there's Brady just moving up in the pocket. He almost got caught for a procedure penalty, but Edelman stops at the last second, gives him the route, and Edelman's just going to run a seam route. He keeps his eyes on him the entire time, threads it right there. Edelman takes a little shot, but holds on to the football. That's a pretty shot right there, Brady.
First and 10 at the 43-yard line. Hogan, we get a couple.
But this is going to be the big difference that you're going to see, that you hope you see with Garoppolo. Watch the way Brady is just handling this situation. There's no ifs, there's no second guessing. He's telling everybody what to do, and they know exactly what he wants from them. That was an adjustment by Hogan at the last minute. Hogan was uncovered. Brady said, you know what, I'm going to get you the ball right away. Now he's going deep.
Second down, he looks for Blunt.
There's it. No, they wanted to throw it, but they took it out. They were just about to throw a flag right there. But again, that's what I think is obvious there. See, Brady wants the flag. He thinks that LeGarrette Blunt was being manhandled as he was running down the football field, and it was close. I saw the sideline ref almost going for his pocket. There he goes to the outside edge, and you can see there's a little bit of hand movement there. He wanted it, but he's like, no, I ain't going to give it to you, Brady. You would think normally 12 would get that call.
Sets up a 3rd and long for Tom Brady in the offense. We're still scoreless here with time winding down in the first quarter. Brady lobs it for Foster. He's got it. And some room. Gets down near the 20-yard line. Beautiful wheel route there by DJ Foster.
And we've seen this play. I don't care if it's Kevin Falk, Shane Vereen, James White. There's the wheel route right there. And DJ Foster so far started the game at tailback. He's returned punts. You're seeing him on 3rd down, running the football out of the backfield, and obviously showing some wide receiver skills, exactly what he did back in college at Arizona State.
Gain of 30. Brady back to Foster. It's hit pretty hard there. Knocked down, gets right back up though. This kid, we talk about bubble players coming in. DJ Foster had a good game last week. Finally got over a hamstring injury. Saw some time against Carolina. Out here with the ones again today.
Yeah, he fits perfectly into the mode of what they're looking for from a 3rd down back.
Brady steps up, eludes pressure. Now he's going to run slide, Tom. Slide, thank you.
He got the 1st down though. He still got some wheels. Yeah.
Yes, everyone feel the wind here at MetLife Stadium. It's a collective exhale from New England.
Christian, I'm always interested in this when they stop chipping backs. We keep seeing DJ Foster flying out of the backfield like that. All these defensive end and linebackers just letting them go. You would think by now people would learn these passing backs are part of the rotation.
There's Foster on 1st down. It's inside the 10 or near the 10.
I mean, you can go all the way back to that first Super Bowl that you were part of, Matt, with Willie McGinnis grabbing Marshall Faulk. I mean, just knowing that there was a back that was going to affect the passing game. He was a legit threat, and if you didn't slow him down before he got going, you weren't going to catch up to him.
Hogan, Martin, and Edelman, your receivers in the game. Foster in the backfield.
Watch the clock now.
Brady has the ball slightly deflected, completes it to Hogan. He'll get a couple.
Yeah, it looks like Brian Dable, tight ends coach, is calling the plays tonight. Remember, I think
he did
Brian
last
Dable
year.
did it last year at this time also. And this is a good move. You just never know what you're going to have to do. I remember back when I played, Jeff Davison, the tight end coach, he was calling plays for one game. And there's Josh McDaniels just kind of checking it out. He needs a break also. Jimmy Garoppolo gets a break. Josh McDaniels gets a break. He can rest his mind, think about plays to call against Arizona.
Good 3rd down opportunity for Brady in the offense.
And here's Derby right there.
Tom, complete, touchdown, Keyshawn Martin. Patriots are on the board, lead at 6-0.
Guys, you don't think these preseason games matter to these guys? Julian Edelman was upset that he was taken out of that play. Keyshawn Martin makes a nice little rub route there, completion for a touchdown. But Jules, in the 4th preseason game, wants the work. He came off upset that he was not a part. Still a competitor, regardless if this is a game that counts in the standings or not.
Question, Christian, is this guy on the bubble, Keyshawn Martin?
No, I don't think Keyshawn Martin is. I think Keyshawn Martin is a keeper. Here's a guy that showed up last year, showed that he was consistent. Brady trusts him. And if all these guys go down, he's kind of in that Brandon Bolden mold, in my opinion. You can use him in the pinch and really in any situation at any position.
He's also a great example of a guy who needed this game. He got some time a week ago. Didn't really look like himself, but a good week of practice. Get out here and be productive.
We've seen the Patriots go for 2 all preseason. They'll do it again. Brady rushed. Now just throws it away into the end zone. And out of play. No good on the conversion. Let's go back and take a look at this touchdown, Christian, and how it unfolded with Keyshawn Martin.
Now, this is the route you're seeing. He's going to run the corner, and he's going to come in and just go like that. That's not the best picture, but you'll see it as it unfolds. It's just going to work a rub here and try and make them decide who they're going for. They both go with Derby, and Martin is wide open. That's a communication issue with the defensive backs. Brady knows it. Pressure's coming, and he knows where he needs to go with the football. So he doesn't step up into the pocket. He steps to the right where he knows his angle routes are working. And somebody gets a football as a souvenir. And I think that's a $7,500 fine. Is it not, Matt Chatham? You are a fine expert.
Somewhere in that range.
No, it's actually like $7,312. It's always some odd number.
Right.
It's never just like $500.
Yeah, and they charge you for the FedEx, too.
Yeah, they charge
$12, right?
You have to sign for this? Why? Because we're fining you?
Right.
Can't you just payroll deduct it and we just call it even?
Well, those that say, don't come to that preseason finale, whatever, if you're a fan, how about that? Patriot fan gets a touchdown football from...
And Keyshawn Martin, a guy that's been hurt, hasn't showed up like Matt said in a lot of games, getting to show that, okay, listen, I know I was hurt and I missed some, but don't forget about me.
Gronkowski with a kick to Bobby Rainey just inside the 5. Rainey with some room out to the 35-yard line before he's finally brought down.
Last week, Brady throws a touchdown, and I think we all kind of said, okay, that's enough.
You got a player down on the field for New England. Again, you don't like to see that to Landon Roberts, who's been very good. Matt Chatham, he's been very good on special teams so far this preseason.
He really has. He showed up in that middle linebacker role a week ago. They were rotating him out, see how he could handle the time with the big guys. But this would be his way to get to the 45, 46 with the extra quarterback. So get to game day with these kickoffs. We saw Gronkowski, kick the ball deep and through the end zone the first time. This one hung. It looked intentionally so to get the coverage rep. Get these young guys out here and see if they can make a play in live action. You need to know that when you're going down to Arizona.
There's a Landon Roberts trying to win a roster spot, and this is the last thing he wants at this point in the preseason. Let's take a look at how this unfolded here, Christian.
Yeah, you can see Robert. He's going to get rolled up on. As the Rainey brings the ball down, here's Roberts right there. He gets a nice hit, but watch here. Who's that? Nate Ebner throw his guy onto the legs of Roberts, and watch him kind of.
Yeah, that's Vinny Sunseri.
That's Sunseri. Okay, yeah. There's it's terrible to see that happen, but that's. He's all right. Looks like he got his ankle rolled up on.
Yeah, you just hope it's not too bad. All right, put yourself in the mind and body of a Landon Roberts as you come off the field right here.
Well, he's coming off the field. He's walking off the field, so that's always a good sign. Nobody's carrying him off. He doesn't have to take any pressure off of it. You hope that's one of those situations where you maybe take a shoe off, retape it, give yourself a little bit more stability. Maybe just mentally you feel more protected.
Again, Christian, I go back to your Gatorade keys to the game. Number 1, 1A, and 1B was stay healthy.
Yeah, you hate seeing guys getting hurt in this game when you're pretty much at the end and the real hard stuff is over, at least as far as camp goes, and it gets ruined by getting hurt in the last preseason game.
Yeah, we've seen Solder get bumped up a little bit, maybe a hamstring, and now Roberts. Here's Nassib on first down, pressured by Grissom, and taken down as he goes out of bounds. Time winding down here in the first quarter. Patriots with the lead.
A lot of stuff going on, guys, in this defensive line for the Patriots. A lot of side stories. Rufus Johnson getting time. Anthony Johnson's out there. Alan Branch returns to the lineup after the suspension, getting some good work in himself. And we know Geno Grissom's in a battle to get himself some extra time. There, loss contained, but did make the tackle.
Pick up a 5 by Nassib. And a first down, Orleans Darkwa. Out of Tulane on the carry. He'll get enough. Nate Ebner with the tackle. There's Alan Branch on the shelf for a team-related suspension.
He's back.
When asked about it this week, he said, go ask Bill. If Bill didn't tell you, I'm not telling you. Smart. Here on first down. Darkwa again. Grissom on the tackle.
Grissom's the guy that's fighting for his football life tonight, in my opinion. Trey Flowers, him and Trey Flowers, who were good buddies, by the way, came in at the same year, but basically playing the same position.
See if they get one more playoff. They don't. And that's the end of the first quarter. Here at MetLife Stadium, the Patriots have a 6-0 lead. Tom Brady to Martin. We'll be back. First quarter through the night here tonight for Josh McDaniels, chatting on the sidelines.
Yeah, it's not like this is his first time calling plays. He was the offensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, Miami Dolphins, and the Kansas City Chiefs, so he has a lot of experience calling plays, especially in this offense because he took it with him.
Giants have the ball in Patriots territory. Ryan Nassib has started this game, and he's still in there. He gets whacked by Mingo, but he gets the ball off in time to Paul Perkins for a gain of a couple.
Yeah, you know, we've been used to watching number 91 run through that line of scrimmage and timing up the snap and hitting quarterbacks. We've seen it a lot, especially this preseason. But Barkevious Mingo, I wish we could put a clock on this guy, but watch him sprint through here. That's a full-out sprint right there. Nassib has no choice but to get rid of it right away.
3 years of Cleveland anger.
Yeah, it's all coming out. Yeah, just go ask Jabal Sheard how happy he is and all the pent-up aggression that he has.
I have my binoculars on. I can see him smiling as he's running.
He knows that his football life is not over.
Nassib throws complete for a first down. Darrell Roberts on the coverage. Roger Lewis.
Although Cleveland is trying a different approach. They got that money ball approach that they're trying. You're trying the whole analytical route, trying to look at teams and rosters that way.
Analytics is the future, baby.
You know, you can keep it. I like the eye test. He looks fast and good. I don't need a chart to tell me that, or a graph. Look at the eyes.
They make a good scout. Little misdirection here. King eludes a couple of tacklers and gets almost 8 yards. Brought down by Daron Harmon. There's Mingo. Patriots fans certainly have to be impressed with what they've seen out of him so far.
You know, and I know,
tonight.
and I know Matt. And Matt, I know you've watched a lot of tape already on Mingo, but can he cover? Can he get out there and can he cover a tight end? Can he cover a tailback out of the back? He definitely has the speed and the athleticism to do it. Just curious to know if that's another tool that he has in his belt.
Yeah, he's fluid. He's got great hips. I mean, he's thin. He's a really tall, thin guy, so he opens up really easily. Very natural in that regard.
On second and short. Incomplete off the hands of Perkins. Kevin Snyder was right on the doorstep saying hello to Nassib.
You know, you have a guy like Mingo, and so on this play, he's acting like he's blitzing. He's going back into his spot as a linebacker, but he has the back in coverage. But he's automatically at a disadvantage once the ball is snapped, but he has so much speed that I know that ball was dropped, but he was still going to be in a position to make the tackle if it was caught.
Third and short. Nassib rolls. Complete. Little out pass to King. Cyrus Jones on the coverage for the Patriots.
And Christian, the payoff for the thing you were just talking about with Mingo, where he gets up in the line and he stresses himself a little bit to get to the back. But the payoff for those next plays where we've seen him taking those run-throughs of the line and no one picking him up. They see him disguised, then they think, oh, it's a dummy play. He's not coming. He's just in coverage. Then he gets the free run.
Giants have put together a little drive here early in the second quarter. A run the football. Darkwa with a couple. Let's go back to Foxborough. Paul Perillo with a thought on Barkevius Mingo. Paul?
Hey, guys.
Go ahead, Paul.
How you doing?
Yeah, you know, Mingo's an interesting guy. You know, he didn't do a whole lot in Cleveland. And one of the things that really stuck out to Andy and I in the locker room was how slender he was. He's a really skinny guy. Obviously, you see the athleticism. You see why Cleveland took him with the 6th overall pick a few years back, because you can see how dynamic he is as an athlete. Really interesting to see him play strictly linebacker tonight, and he's making plays. Good first impression. We'll see if he can build on this. But Bill Belichick talked all week about how quickly and how much study he was doing off the field and trying to catch up, and it's going to be a matter of how quickly he can learn this defense, because he really is in a different system than he's used to in Cleveland.
Saw Mingo on the coverage there. The incomplete. 3rd and 6 on the 23-yard line of the Giants. Patriots up 6-0. Glad to have you with us here on the preseason finale from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. And Nassib's going to call time. Didn't like what he saw out there.
First charge timeout,
Which is
New York Giants.
When we return, another 3rd down opportunity for the Patriots defense. Mingo and company. So some PGA golfers, Mickelson, Tom Lehman, Jimmy Furyk, all visiting Gillette Stadium last night as guests of the Patriots, and Optum, Davis Love III, the coach of the Ryder Cup for the United States. There they are posing with the trophies, and Robert Kraft. A little golf. I'd like to play golf inside Gillette Stadium, hit a few off the turf.
How about like a miniature golf course, right? We could do that.
And you know, guys like Furyk and Mickelson could play like the Larry Bird, Michael Jordan horse, off the seat, section 103, over the ramp, down the hill, into the hole. They could have a lot of fun there.
I can just see you just with your popcorn, just loving every bit of it.
Can't wait for the Ryder Cup. I love the Ryder Cup. Golf at its best. The Deutsche Bank in town this Labor Day weekend.
But you're an empty nester, so you have a lot of free time just to kind of hang out and just watch TV all day.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Oh, wait. Hey, you're not going to cry, are you?
Here's 3rd down. Nassib. And another completion for a 1st down. Jones on the coverage. King, Tavares King out of Georgia on the reception.
You know, Nassib does a nice job sitting in the pocket because the pressure's there, and this play takes a long time to develop. And Cyrus Jones is in position to make the play, but watch when the ball goes. He's not even ready for it. Watch, he's in front of it. All he has to do is turn his head around, but he doesn't realize that the ball is on its way. And by that point, it's too late.
Giants have come right back, driving the ball down deep into Patriot territory. Now pressure. Eluding it and throwing it out of bounds is Nassib, as he was chased by Rufus Johnson.
Yeah, the coverage is there by the Patriots, and Johnson.
You know, Christian, you look at it, the guys, and Matt as well, Rufus Johnson, Anthony Johnson, Trey Flowers, Grissom, a lot of guys in there that can all chase, get after the quarterback. It could come down to maybe special teams with a guy like Grissom as to what gives them the edge over the others, but certainly guys in the mix here for roster spots. On 2nd down, pop. That's another Johnson. Darkwood took a hit from Anthony. How about a thought on those guys all trying to make this roster?
And again, the Trey Flowers, the Geno Grissoms, the Shea McClellans, there's just, even Barkevius Mingo, there's so many guys that have this similar body type and that they can all play the same position. You can put these guys on the edge, you can put them in the middle, you can have them drop into coverage. The most important thing is make sure that the offense has no clue what you're doing. Are you in 3-4? Are you in a 4-3? Are you just in a straight linebacker set?
Nassib on 3rd down. Fires complete.
Christian, one of the things I'm noticing down here on the field, and I'm sure you've seen this before in these 4th preseason games, a lot of guys out here getting a lot more reps than they're used to getting, and it's been a long extended drive here down deep into the red zone. You see some of these rushers a little gassed. You know, they get to that point where they work their butts off. They put together a lot of good rushes to get to here. Looked a little tired here inside the 10.
Yeah, a lot of 3rd down conversions, too, that just, are you kidding me type plays where
Exactly.
You think you're off the field and you're like, oh, God, we got to start all over again.
Randy Bullock in to attempt the 25-yard field goal for the Giants. On its way, and it's good. Zach Diossi out of North Andover. Phillips Academy with a snap.
Your old babysitter.
Yeah, against the Giants on the, not for me, on the board. Overturned. Patriots by 3. Mr. Mara, Mr. Kraft, Bill Belichick.
I mean, for Bill, maybe there's a little conflict of emotions there with the Giants and the Pats. A lot of history here with the Giants. There's Mr. Kraft.
Probably came down to see Tom Brady.
It's going to be a time. It's going to be a while.
It's going to be strange, Christian.
It is going to be a little weird. And I know he does have plans, though. He's going to be the honorary captain for the Michigan Wolverines when they play my Colorado Buffaloes. Now, I hope they lose that game in ugly fashion. I'm sure Nate Solder feels the same way.
Randy Bullock. And here comes Tom Brady again. Christian, are you surprised Tom Brady's playing into the second quarter? We thought maybe 1 or 2 series and that'd be it, but he's been out here the entire time.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think nothing surprises me anymore. I guess it's important. This is, I guess, is a priority because you would think Jacoby Brissett would be the guy that would really need the reps. I mean, here's the guy he's your backup quarterback. I mean, 12 of 19, okay, 96 yards, all right. I mean, that's great. Jacoby Brissett looking at Edelman. Listen, can I throw some balls to you, man? I know you're going to be open.
First down. Give us to Foster. He gets outside, shows some speed, and gets near a first down. Well, not only that, Christian, but the other talk coming in here was the fact that, would Tom Brady play? Would Jimmy Garoppolo play?
Yeah.
No Jimmy, no Brissett. It's been Brady's ball so far. DJ Foster with a pickup of 9 on the play.
Yeah, and there's a guy that I'm excited to see. Was hurt most of camp, but this is a guy that can really be a spark plug.
And that was an individual effort play. He beat the edge by himself.
Yeah.
Took it inside and bounced it. Bounce out, cutback player.
Yeah, there's nothing there. See him on the pickup.
There's a completion over the middle to Dobson from Tom Brady. Another guy, again, we ask Christian, Matt, is he on the bubble? Aaron Dobson.
The one thing that you look at when a third down back, obviously, can he make plays? Can he catch the football? But more importantly, he's going to be in there in some sort of situation where he's going to have to block somebody, and it's probably going to be a linebacker who's physically stronger than him. Last play on Dobson's catch, he did a nice job of stepping up into the pocket and making a block.
On the 42 of the Patriots. Brady, a handoff again to Foster. Cuts through, picks up maybe 2 or 3 yards, where it'll set up a second down.
Well, there were the reports, guys, this week of possibly Dobson being involved in some trade talks or something along those lines. And it's difficult as a player if you start, reading press clippings, which you should never do, stay off social media, all that kind of stuff, because he's got to come out here and have an exceptional game. If it's presumably making this team or making someone else's, you got to go out and produce. He was involved in the fumble, interception, whatever you want to call it earlier. Now he's got a chance to make a play on not a great ball, a little bit behind him. So continuing to build his resume is a good thing, regardless of what rumors are out there.
On second and long, Brady. Ball is tipped into the air, falls incomplete. Well, guys, you look at it, you're going to have Edelman. You possibly could have Amendola if he can get healthy enough. You're going to have Hogan. And then, Mitchell, the kid out of Georgia. Can he be healthy enough? But there's 4. So, Keyshawn Martin, Aaron Dobson. Those are the 2 guys maybe that are battling for that position. Take a look at the wide receivers, Christian.
Yeah, I know. I think Hogan, obviously, I think is a lock. Malcolm Mitchell isn't going anywhere. I think Martin isn't going anywhere.
So do you keep 6?
Yeah, that's a question. Maybe not a person you're competing with at the wide receiver position. It might be another position group.
On third down, Brady's looking deep. And he completes it. That'll help.
Well, that'll help, yes.
Aaron Dobson on the reception.
We talked about this in the open. You may not make this team. There may not be a spot for you. But don't forget that there's other teams that need wide receivers. And this may just get you a job. Maybe not with the Patriots, but maybe another team in the NFL. Maybe in the same division.
37 yards on the completion. Sets up a 1st and 10 in the red zone. Ball in the 19. Midway through the second quarter. Brady directing still. Communicating with DeAndre Carter. Fires over the head of Dobson. Let's go back to the last play. Aaron Dobson on the catch. Christian, what did you see?
He's a big receiver, but just the concentration right there. His hands have been suspect at times, really, since he got here. and started playing with the Patriots. But that's a great catch. He has to turn his body, look for it. He's got the defender in his face. I mean, it's a big throw by Brady, expecting a big play right there. He's got the size, he's got the speed. Just need to find some consistency, and I think he's got a spot and a bright future.
And he high points the ball, Christian. That's important. He went up and got it. His hands weren't down at his waist.
Brady pressured, gets it away to Foster. Nice catch. Eludes a tackler. Now fumbles the football, though. You don't like to see that. And the Giants will recover. He did everything right. Made a beautiful play, but coughed up the football. Bill Belichick won't like that. DJ Foster fighting for a spot. Have to feel bad for the kid.
But nothing will get you kicked off this team faster than ball security. You have to be able to secure the catch and finish the play. Ball security, doesn't want any fumbles, and that's just a good hustle play right there by Kerry Wynn of the Giants. But you have to secure it. If you're not part of the reason why we're winning, don't be the reason why they lose it.
Christian, I'm down here on the field, and that play happened basically in front of me. He made such a great catch. It was extended out away from his body, but he never put it away. I was seeing it almost as a defender. He took the next 5 yards, and it was like a loaf of bread away from his body. It's like, put it away and put it away. Never did, and the pursuit got there.
Spoiled a nice long drive for Brady and the Patriots, and the Giants take over deep in their own territory. Flag down on first down.
You know, and it's a shame because he's got a lot of talent, and he missed a lot, so he really had to play catch-up to try and bring himself into the competition with the other backs. James White, we know what James White can do. I mean, I think he's reached his ceiling, so he's a consistent guy that's going to make plays for you. And if you're DJ Foster, you just can't have that happen. I mean, that just can't happen, and you can pat him on the back and tell him it's going to be okay.
Offense. Wide receiver covered the tight end. Penalties half the distance to the goal. Replay first down.
It's one of those good learning lessons, though, Christian, because the guy's just played in practice in the NFL. You know, he hasn't been out here in a real game. He makes that amazing catch in college at Arizona State. He probably then, eludes all the tacklers in the secondary, winds his way in and scores a touchdown. Now, you really have to worry about pursuit. Everyone on the field is fast. So that's the kind of thing where he may make that great catch someday again down the line. Then he puts the thing away.
And that's why I think, missing a bunch of time hurt him. He didn't play in any of the joint practices, missed a couple games. And you said it, the first thing I noticed when I got to the league is just how fast the defense closes in on you. If you catch a pass, they are on you so quickly, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
I mean, and there's Bill, and he's listening. Listen, made a good play. Don't go in the tank.
Well, the big thing is, do you learn from it? If they throw you the ball again and then you're still not putting it away, they think you're a slow learner. But if you put it away, it's like, okay, the young guy learned.
That was a long, serious conversation right there by Bill. And
it's almost what
Foster.
Well, it's almost what I think Matt was saying.
I'm not mad at you. I'm more disappointed at you.
Exactly.
That hurts more.
Right, and you could see it though. He made a beautiful catch, but like Matt said, he just didn't tuck it in. As a running back, you should do that.
Well, see, I thought
maybe Bill's slowly pointing that out to him.
I thought that was the same thing when we watched it in slow motion. He did do it. He wasn't terrible with it. He did bring it back in, but I'm going to give some credit to Kerry Wynn for knocking that ball out of his hands. But again, if you lose the ball, it's your fault. You're paid to hold on to it, and they're paid to knock it out.
Well, one thing I've always seen during these games is how much teaching do you do on the sidelines, the Patriots coaching staff, even in the regular season. Dante Scarnecchia, Matt Patricia, they're always in their guys, chirping their guys as we have a penalty, but they're always trying to teach, Christian, even as the regular season continues.
Yeah, and I think it's mental. It's mental teaching. It's are you going to go in the tank? How sorry do you feel for yourself?
Defense, 12 men. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Bill not happy with that one.
No, he's saying, listen, I'm disappointed in you also.
Disappointed in all of you.
Yeah, this is the angry.
Oh, this is the angry Bill?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. Oh, and there's Dante Hightower just laughing like, you get it also. And the textbook pencil behind the ear.
Sets up a 1st and 10. The 18-yard line of the Giants. 5.5 left to go here. The second quarter, Patriots with a 3-point lead. Run the football, Perkins. And there's that guy again. Barkevius Mingo steps in with that speed and makes the tackle as Perkins goes down.
Yeah, Mingo again. Now there he is right there. Now he's on the tackle. Watch him just quick, bam, jams him with the shoulder. And there he goes, falls off in to make the tackle. And watch the slow motion there. That tackle's got no chance. No chance whatsoever. 2 hands, bring him to the floor. Got nowhere to go. He hits that edge so quick.
2 guys there.
So
Chris.
fast.
He's certainly done a lot here in this first half. Here's Nassif. Throws complete. Jeremy Davis with the reception for the Giants. Justin Coleman on the coverage.
Former UConn guy, correct, Rochi?
Let's take a look at the former UConn guy. Got it.
Now, you've been pretty good at this all preseason there, Rochi.
Ooh, I'm going
to let you make the calls to see if you can go 3-0.
Yeah, no, he got it. Just hurry up and make the play.
Yeah, well, they're going to snap it.
Run the next play, right? We win.
The red flag has not come out of Bill's sock.
3rd and long for the Giants. Nassif's going to look deep. Off the fingertips of Davis with Coleman. He went after Coleman again. That'll be 4th down.
They keep going, trying to hit that home run ball, and the defensive backs of the New England Patriots are just doing an excellent job in coverage. That ball's got to be perfectly thrown in order for that to be a completion. Coleman was right where he needed to be.
Yeah, Coleman stays nicely with the 2nd-year receiver out of UConn. Brad Wing into punt. There's DJ Foster back again. Won't have a chance to return this, though, as it goes out of bounds near the 35-yard line. When we return, we'll see if Tom Brady leads the offense again. Stay with us. Pats by 3. Last Patriots opening game starting quarterback other than Tom Brady or Drew Bledsoe.
All right, is all mics are open on this one?
Yes, except Matt Chatham.
Matt,
We'll let you try to answer this one.
Let you go first, Matt, because I think I know.
I have a guess.
Go ahead.
Wow.
Come on.
Is it Grogan? I'm kidding. I don't know.
I mean, it would be my guess.
It would precede. It would
Don't
precede
take
Drew.
my guess.
No, I think it would be someone who would probably, if he wasn't playing quarterback, would be a great mattress salesman. And I think that person would be Zolak. I think that's who it would be.
took
You
my-
think
I
that was
said
the
that.
plan?
Zolak. That's who I think it would be.
That was my guess, too.
No?
Okay.
I got Zolak. We always got to tie these things
Yes,
together. See, there's a
yes.
trick to it. I know what they're doing in the truck.
There's Brady out again, leading the Patriots offense. Tyler Gaffney in for New England.
I got Zolak. I got Scott Zolak. That's
Yeah, I'll go Zolak or Heward. something
Grogan?
like that.
John Freeze? No.
Grogan.
I'm going Zolak.
How about Babe Perilli, Matt?
I know Grogan was not the answer. Joshua.
Although Steve Grogan, probably my favorite quarterback growing up.
Oh, he's a stud.
Number 14.
Any quarterback that wears a neck roll, man.
Wait, I don't even know if that was a neck roll. That was like
Trust me,
Trump's version
defenders
of a neck
respect
roll.
that guy.
All right, here it is, fellas. Bank of America trivia question. The last Patriots opening day starting quarterback other than Bledsoe or Brady. Let's see. All right, we'll answer after the play.
The suspense is killing me.
3rd down opportunity.
I think I'm going to change my
Brady's
answer.
changed his mind.
I think I'm going to
Calls
change
a
my
timeout.
answer.
Timeout. New England, a 30-second timeout.
I think I know what it is.
30-second
I think I know who
timeout.
it is.
Suspense.
Hugh
And here's
Millen.
your answer.
Hugh Millen. That's the one guy we
Wait for
forgot
it.
to mention.
Wait for it.
Oh, yes!
Ah, yeah.
Oh! I knew it. I remember watching this game. I remember
Wow.
I remember where I was during the game that he played.
The amazing thing that strikes me is, think about the NFL and what it's become. It's become a coach quarterback league. And look at the stability at this position for the New England Patriots.
It really is amazing. There he is. There's our mattress salesman. Beauty rest. You
Guns
name
up.
it. He could sell it.
Pointing to the
Can't
sky.
rap, but
Woo! 98-mile runner-up.
he can't stop moving, can he?
No.
Does he ever sit still?
No, Zoe
Never.
is. I love Zoe. So here's Brady on 3rd down again. Carter in motion. Steps up. Time. Fires complete. A.J. Derby on the reception at the 40-yard line of the Giants. 18-yard pickup on the play.
And that's what we talk about. Here's A.J. Derby, a guy that's shown a lot up in these sub-looks and these 2-minute formations. Great in-cut. Nice throw by Brady.
Approaching the 2-minute warning. Patriots by 3 late in the first half, and Tom Brady's been in for every snap at quarterback. Here's Foster. Just gets tripped up. Nice defensive play by the Giants. Jermel Pudjoe with the stop for the New York Giants.
They had a nice edge block right there by Derby. And they really sealed it, but
we're at the 2-minute warning.
This is the 2-minute warning.
Patriots on the move when we return. Time report. Steve Burton will host that for you. Speaking of Steve Burton, he had an interesting week.
Over here by Cohen. Do they know each? No, hold him tight. Hold him tight. Hold him. I am. Hold him tight. I am. Got it. I am. Oh, it's okay. All right. All right, Joni, you got it.
oh God! I've seen it 100 times and it doesn't get old.
There's just so much there. We have to go back and replay that. There's so much there that we have to discuss.
It works on so many different levels.
All right, here's Brady. 2nd and 13 now on the 43-yard line of New York.
There's Derby.
Yeah, Brady goes down. Sneaking through was Romeo Aguara. And here's what Steve Burton tweeted after the moment with the alligator and the crocodile. My life flashed before my eyes when an alligator and a crocodile met. Tune in Sunday night on Sports Final. Hashtag WBZ. Any thoughts there, Steve, on
buddy?
I am.
Hold him.
I am. Hold him. I will say this, that alligator was a lot stronger than I thought. Wasn't very big, but very powerful. I'll tell you that right now.
I appreciate the details, Steve. We'll talk about that.
Of course.
As we have a 3rd and 20 situation for the Patriots. Brady steps up now, avoids pressure, looks deep for Dobson, and it gets knocked down. If we can take a look at the replay, Steve, of your encounter with the alligator.
Iguana.
The iguana, you were not sure what it was. Watch.
It was an alligator.
Yeah, so two things.
Watch the
Two
face.
things. Look at the fear.
Watch the face.
Look at the fear in your eyes. Look at the fear in your eyes. But then, I love when you calm things down. Now fix the suit. Be cool. Ready?
I was trying to be
Boom.
cool. I was trying to be smooth. You still have to keep your composure. It's all about poise.
Well done, sir. Patriots fail on the 3rd down. Ryan Allen with the punt. Bobby Rainey with the fair catch with 1:05 left to go here.
Did you realize that you were trending early this morning? I mean, did you realize? I watched it at least 20 times and I couldn't get enough of it.
I woke up this morning and I got a phone call from my daughter who's away at school, and she said, "Dad, you have no idea that you just embarrassed the family. Get a life."
And your son Austin,
right,
is now going to UCLA, right?
That's correct.
Okay,
yes.
He's going to be a big football stud out there on the West Coast.
Yeah, he has not talked to me all day.
I love the Shaft look right there. Yeah, I am still sexy.
I'm cool. Austin says no. No, you're not, Dad.
Got it.
That was great stuff. Scott Sullivan, the crack producer at WBC Sports, alerted me to that late last night.
That's right. Sully couldn't wait to tweet it out.
Patriots defense knocks down a pass.
What
do we got at halftime there, Steve?
Well, we got a lot to talk about. We got the Ron Burton Community Service Award. Bob Sosie's going to sit down with the guy who won it, and we'll tell you who that is coming up at halftime.
Ooh, okay. I bet he's not afraid of alligators.
No, he's not.
Now, was the alligator's mouth taped shut?
It was taped shut. It was taped shut, but it was taped shut by Scotch tape. Like athletic tape or Scotch tape. So I'm like scared to death over this thing.
You almost got hit by the tail. It looked like the tail almost caught you in the face there. So I can understand you being a little nervous because that's your moneymaker. Look how handsome you are. Look, that's a moneymaker right there. That's a Steve Burton look right there.
But I will tell you, I was in good company. Mike Grabowski and his wife Joni, they're professionals. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they knew how to handle the situation.
Steve Burton hosting Wild America.
Yeah, what's the segment about?
Well, see,
Does the alligator pick like the Super Bowl winner or something?
We have an animal segment every year on Sports Final, and we just have a lot of fun.
Every year?
Nassib going deep.
Every year.
And the completion to Larry Donnell as Jordan Richards gets beat on the coverage. 30 yards on the play.
That's a big chunk play right there by the Giants. They needed that, and Jordan Richards covering the big tight end. Nassib just extending that play and finding the open receiver.
Giants with the ball near midfield. Nassib just dumps it off. That's Perkins. It's wrapped up from behind by Ebner.
You know, Matt,
Jones in on the tackle too.
Matt, you were talking about earlier how the defense was getting tired. I'm just paying attention to Mingo right now. He is exerting a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's happy right now that they just called the timeout. Because his motor was on E.
Right, and you could tell. I mean, he just looks so much more comfortable when you give him space. He's an incredible athlete. You see that when he gets away from people. These plays where he has to lean on people who weigh 100 pounds more than him, that's trying. That really can get tiresome. So when you get him out there, just let him run and make plays. I think that looks like where he's at his best.
And in another way, I mean, here's a guy that's not only is he covering backs, he's going up against left tackles, guards. I mean, he's using every last bit of energy in a bunch of different ways. It's going to sap your energy faster than if you're just, working in coverage.
Giants ball on the 35-yard line. The Patriots having some issues on defense with the right personnel getting them out there. I can tell you the one good thing that you could see.
Third and final charge timeout, New England.
Out onto the football field
30-second timeout.
is a Landon Roberts.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier. Okay, how bad is it? The last thing you want to do is get hurt in the last preseason game. There he is, number 52.
It's a little like this, though, Christian. We were talking about Mingo, and you know this from the tight end side. Say Bill sends you on 3 go routes in a row or whatever, and then you got to come back to the huddle, and the next play you're the point of attack on the 290-pound defensive end. It's like that. You did all the running stuff, which gassed you, and then you got to do the heavy lifting, and the guy across from me is much heavier.
So we'll try it again here. 19 seconds left to go. Nassib, pressured by Kuhn, gets it to Perkins. Inside the 30, inside the 25.
Well, he found a get up on that last play. If you see how quickly he gets a jump on this football. I mean, if he does end up, getting some playing time, I mean, he's going to get a lot of holes. That's borderline a chokehold right there. I thought they outlawed that.
Right.
And he's, tackled sitting there going, I'm not doing anything. Nothing to see here.
That's Bobby Hart, the second player out of Florida State. 1st and 10 on the 24-yard line with 13 to go as the Giants drive for some points late in the half. Fake by Nassib, goes deep, looks, but it's picked off. Jordan Richards atones for getting beat by Donnell earlier, and the Patriots defense does it again. Another turnover forced here in the preseason.
All right, at least it's not a Rutgers player. It's a Stanford player. And again, they're in cover 2, and Nassib's just going to stare down his receiver, and Jordan Richards times it up perfectly. And take that souvenir home, put it on his mantle. Here comes Brady, just going to take a knee. And there he is right there. Watch him just read it. Not the best throw. I'm not even sure who he's throwing it to, but Jordan Richards with the pick. Yeah, look, and they're talking to each other going, wait, was he throwing it to you? Because I was open. There's Matt Patricia giving a nice pat on the head saying, excellent job, buddy. You just saved us a lot of aggravation going into halftime.
Tom Brady takes a knee.
This is the end of the first half.
It was all Brady getting the quarterback snaps here in the first half. And as we go to break, the Geico halftime report is coming up. And here's Tom Brady being Tom Brady. The Patriots will have the ball, and Jacoby Brissett expected to be the quarterback to start things off. Patriots lead by 3. And moments ago, Steve Burton caught up with Bill Belichick for our Gillette halftime interview.
Markevious Mingo, a good addition. I mean, he's putting pressure on that quarterback.
Right. Well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, every snap he gets is a valuable one at this time of year because he hasn't been with us, and I think he'll be able to help us during the season.
Have we seen all of Brady we're going to see tonight, and will Jacoby Brissett start the second half?
Jacoby will start the second half, right?
All right, Coach, good luck to you.
All right, thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You got it. Bill Belichick, our guest. Let's go back upstairs, guys.
Thank you, Gator. Patriots getting set to receive the second half kickoff. DJ Foster, DeAndre Carter back deep for New England. Randy Bullock will kick for the Giants. And we're underway here, second half. Taking a knee is Foster.
You know,
and the Patriots will start 1st and 10 on their own 25-yard line.
And that's got to be a good sign for DJ Foster. Here's a guy that started the games, getting a lot of reps. It's not only on 1st and 2nd down, but as a 3rd down back. He's returning punts. He's back there on kickoff return. So good sign for him. And here comes Jacoby Brissett. 13 for 13, completed his last 13 passes. And you're going to jinx him.
We mentioned Brady finished strong, 14-19, 153 and a touchdown. Leave me alone. Come on, we've made it through 3.5 games. I don't need this now.
Pressure.
You have to have my back there, my friend. And here's Brissett. First thing he does is hand it off to Tyler Gaffney, and he gets swarmed by the Giants defense. Let's go back to Foxborough in our Bob's Discount Furniture Studios. Paul Perillo, you surprised Tom Brady played that entire first half?
You know, I'm going to go with the Christian Fourier theory right now and just say I can't be surprised by anything that's gone on in this crazy summer. I think from the start of training camp right on through all these preseason games, we've had absolutely no idea how to forecast these things. Surprising? Yeah, I guess. I was surprised that he played at all. So for him to play the entire half, yeah, that caught me a little bit off guard.
And the first pass of the night from Brissett is a completion. No jinx for the Patriots. Devin Lucien on the reception.
And these are the type of things, with just looking at Jacoby Brissett, now that's 14 of his last 14 that he's completed, so you did not jinx it, but watch him right here. Now just watch his eyes. He's going to look to his left, but he has no intentions of going there. He's just setting up the stage. As I watch at the last minute, turns his head, there it is, and just throws a dart. I mean, that's the type of eye manipulation that you're looking for from a quarterback, and it's nice that it shows up early for a young quarterback.
Gain of 20, make that 15 for 15 as he goes to Derby for another first down. As Jacoby Brissett, he looks comfortable. There's no question about that, Christian. We talked to him yesterday. Very intelligent kid. Loves the game of football. Very, he's from the second he got in here, it's just, hey, let's get to work. It's what Tom Brady said to him when he first got here. And he's been all about it and more.
Yeah, no, it's been impressive, and he's learned fast.
Here's the handoff to Tyler Gaffney. And while we're on the discussion of Jacoby Brissett, Tom Brady, as well as Jimmy Garoppolo, could you address a little bit the reported rift between Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo?
There's no rift.
Dominated
There's no rift.
Talk Radio the last couple of weeks.
That's a Gary Tanguay hot take right there. Okay, don't pay any attention to it. There's no rift. They're not. It's not Brady's job to coach Jacoby Brissett or Jimmy Garoppolo. There's a question, sure, he'll answer it, but he doesn't need to be hovering over him and dictating everything, and Garoppolo doesn't need to feel his presence over his shoulder. He needs to be the best Jimmy Garoppolo, not the best version of Tom Brady.
Well, Matt Chatham, you and I both had conversations with Jimmy this week. I said to him in the locker room, I said, have you heard about this rift? And he said, what rift? And I said, between you and Tom. He said, what? And he started laughing.
He just rolled his eyes when I said something to him about it, too, give him a hard time. It's just total nonsense. Sitting up there with a pair of binoculars staring at the sidelines and guessing that there's some sort of general hospital situation going on because they're not standing next to one another. Are you kidding me? These guys live together during the week. So much film watched together, so much time, and they get along really well. That's just the truth of it.
Well, Brissett got crushed there by 3 Giants. Tried to hit DeAndre Carter, and his streak of consecutive receptions, completions, it ends at 16.
Yeah, he just held on to that football just a little bit too long. He had a crossing route going with the tight end and Harper, and decent coverage, but a ball he could complete if he would have just thrown just a little bit sooner.
Ryan Allen in to do the punting once again for the Patriots. Bobby Rainey back deep. Angles it and gets the fair catch by Rainey down near about the 14-yard line where the Giants will start 1st and 10. Brissett takes a big hit to start the second half. We'll see if he can rebound a little later on.
Let's go. I am going to be sitting on my couch for 4 weeks. Let's go. I want some points.
Regular season octave.
You know what You know what I took from that? I don't want to be anywhere near Tom Brady for the next month. Right?
Well, and again, I feel sorry for the Cleveland Browns. The first game he comes back.
Right.
Because somebody's got to pay.
Right. Angry Mango and Angry Tom all in the same.
Jabal sheared. It's not like Bill. It's not like Bill loves the Cleveland Browns.
Exactly.
Brian Daboll, he was there also.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of guys that are connected to that team.
Ooh, quarterbacks getting along on the sideline. Brissett, Garoppolo with Josh McDaniels.
Everybody's getting along nowadays.
That was Andre Williams on the carry, the former Boston College star. Here's Nassib.
Catch that?
Yeah, that's a completion.
That was an unbelievable catch right there.
Yeah, Darryl Roberts draped all over Jeremy Davis. The kid from UConn.
I don't even know if he caught this ball. Let's see this. Let's see this again. Let's see if he even catches it. Back shoulder throw in the dirt. Let's see. Yeah, he caught it. That's a fantastic catch.
16 on the completion. Now the Giants first down. There's Williams. Like a 4, maybe 5. One of the nicest kids you'll ever be around, Andre Williams, kid out of Boston College, Christian.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and even when he was in college, I don't think people in New England even knew that this guy was close to 2,000 yards until the last 2 games of the season. They're like, wait, Boston has a football team and it's not the Patriots? You didn't like that joke, did you?
Whoa.
I
like what they're doing at
I'm
BC.
a fan of Coach Adazio, Boston College.
Yes.
Sorry for liking college football in New England, Christian.
No, I love college football in New England. I wish we could talk about it more.
Here's Nassib, complete over the middle, and away he goes. King, one man to beat Sunseri, and he does. Touchdown Giants. 59 yards. Tavares King on the reception. On the throw from Ryan Nassib.
Now this is just that's Tavares King right there. Watch this, just a quick slant, sets up Cyrus Jones real quickly, and this is just, okay, who's faster? Sunseri can't catch him. Cyrus Jones, he falls down, he's not gonna get him. Nice quick move off the line of scrimmage. Now watch the speed. You can't coach it, you can't teach it, either you have it or you don't, and he catches this football in stride and nobody's gonna catch him. And nobody has an angle. Good quick throw by Nassib to King, 6 points. That's got to be frustrating because so far the defense has been playing really well and let that one big play. You just heard him talk about it. Listen, leverage, tackle well, don't give up the big play, and that's exactly what happened.
Point after good from Bullock, and the Giants take the lead here early in the third quarter.
And you talk about speed, there it is. Nobody can catch him. Nobody can even come close to him. The Giants get a touchdown. Jones is having a great preseason for a rookie, but he just gets beat. Here's Cyrus Jones. He's going to give a little bit and then beats him inside. Cyrus Jones doesn't have his feet under him. Tries to kind of swat at his legs, but that's just not going to work. Tavares King with the speed. First year in the league at 6'1", 200 pounds. I mean, Cyrus Jones, that's going to happen. You put him on an island like that, you're going to have guys that are just quicker, and the play is perfect, and they set you up, and he's going to catch it, and he's going to run. That's fine. That's the best thing about a cornerback is how much do you let that play affect the next one? Is he going to be so upset and uptight about it that he's going to be ruined for the rest of the game? You hear every great cornerback, okay, you got to have a short memory. Let it go on to the next play. Don't let that one affect the next play or the next one or the next one.
You're almost like a closer in baseball or a goalie in hockey. Just got to move on to the next play. Bullock with the boot. Taken by Foster at his goal line. 20. Scoots to the 25, 27. And we get a flag down on the play. See what we get for a call. As the Patriots come back out on offense again.
During the return holding, return team number 18, 10-yard penalty, first down New England.
All right, for more on Cyrus Jones.
8-6.
A.J. Derby with a hold. Let's go back to Foxborough. Andy Hart, thought on Cyrus Jones and his role with his Patriots team coming out to start the regular season.
Roche, it's interesting. I think Christian was right that Cyrus Jones has been improving throughout camp, and I thought he really reached a nice peak last week in the third preseason game. He was in the slot corner with Logan Ryan and Malcolm Butler. Then tonight we start the game, and it's Justin Coleman is the third corner for much of the first half. And then when Cyrus Jones gets out there, he's really struggled with King a little bit, running him across the field close, giving up completions on that one. He just missed at the line, couldn't get his hands on him, didn't have great feet, was beat at the line and beat for the big play. But I do think he's a guy who proved with all those muff punts in practice and not letting that get in his head in games that he is a strong mental person.
Tyler Gaffney on the carry. Let's go back to Paul Perillo. Paul, do you believe that he'll be the punt returner to start the season?
Yeah, I think he's certainly going to get the first crack. And I was interested tonight. There was one of the punts early in the game, I think in the first quarter, near the goal line, down inside the 10. He had Julian Edelman back to do the fair catch. Obviously, he used a lot of DJ Foster tonight. I would have thought that would have been a nice opportunity to get a guy like Foster or maybe even Cyrus Jones, as Andy talked about, a chance to make that kind of a situational play.
Brissett pressured, and he goes down for the sack. And it'll set up a 3rd and long for the Patriots. Brad Bars out of Penn State in for New York.
Yeah, he just doesn't have a shot right there. Here comes Herzlich right up the middle talking about BC football. What a great story that guy is for his entire career. Even just grabs onto Brissett, knocks over the back who's trying to block him, and just drags him down.
Christian, is that an opportunity where you would have had Gaffney cut block? He did a nice job of picking it up, but he got walked back in. I thought that he met him in the hole. If he cut him down, maybe that doesn't happen.
Yeah, you know what? I always get nervous about those plays, Matt, as we see DJ Foster run it up there in the middle, is that if it's a long developing play, if you cut him early, he's just going to get up and he can still affect the play. If it's a quick hitting play, I'm okay with getting him down and knocking his legs out from under him. But if it's one of those plays where the guy's got to run a deep out, you don't have any choice but just keep your feet.
Yeah, it's a good point. And one way or the other, the linebacker's loving it that he got a back and got 5 and 7 step drop. You know you got time. You know you got a smaller dude.
Yeah, that's a plus all the way.
Exactly.
Mentioned Mark Herzlich, a 6th year out of Boston College. He came up with a sack there. Bars in on it as well as Allen gets the punt underway to Rainey at his own 40-yard line. Over the midfield stripe and into Patriot territory. Labor Day weekend getting underway in the Big Apple. Patriots and Giants, the preseason finale. More straight ahead. Gillette Stadium. Don't miss this chance to be a part of rock and roll history. We have a lot of groupies of the Springsteen, the boss, out there.
I want to come up
in
and
our
do
crew.
I want to do the Courtney Cox dance. And she's just like,
maybe we're just dancing in the dark. Everybody fell in love with her as the Giants complete the little out pass to Bobby Rainey.
I mean, is there anyone who did not? Honestly, I mean, you're right. Everybody. This is pretty bad. That is. I don't know. You guys, seriously, can you stop, please? I'm feeling the music right there.
Yeah, it looks good.
Do you think he would bring me up on stage if I did that?
You got me nauseous watching that. There's Rainey on the carry.
You would think that we would maybe get a chance to get some tickets to that.
I know.
I mean, we've done it. We've done our work. You know, we put the work in. Matt Chat, I'm sure, would love to go.
We're done. You know, Matt, you want to go with us?
Yeah, sure, I'll come on.
Yeah, he
doesn't seem like
so
a Bruce Springsteen guy.
Enthused.
I mean, that's
more of a blues rock guy. You know.
You don't look like you like any kind of music.
Yeah, that makes sense. Polka Dan.
Yeah. I saw Springsteen at the Carrier Dome, and he played until midnight. They kicked him off the stage because they had a Syracuse-Georgetown hoop game coming the next day.
Yeah, the only thing that'll knock Bruce Springsteen off the stage is Syracuse hoops.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Played 4 hours and 1 minute, according to Fran Morrison, as we get the call here. Back in our truck.
Holding. Offense number 63. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
I don't think I could hang for a 4-hour concert, though. I just don't think I got it in me. It's not for the weak.
Yeah, no, you know what he does nicely, though,
not work
is he'll play like 3 or 4 songs where you get up and dance, and then he'll play 3 or 4 songs where you can just chill out a little bit.
Well, it's like
he's
almost
good
like,
at it, you know?
like deep thinking songs, right? Where you're just really thinking about your life.
I'm just amazed at all the groupies in the media, though, that are in there. Matt Smith of Craft Sports Productions, who runs our whole show here. Mike Reese of ESPN.
I got some guys that I work with that are just complete.
Yeah. Director
Bruce
Mike
Springsteen
Frank is
diehards.
a big Bruce guy. We're surrounded by them. It's pretty cool, though, when he closed with Jersey Girl here. You know, the crowd must have went crazy. Fireworks and all.
I mean, the obsession with the guys that we work with here.
There's a Springsteen fan. There's another one.
Yeah, you think? They don't know who Bruce Springsteen is. They're playing Pokemon right now. Like, where can I get Pikachu? I think I nabbed him.
Back to football. Massive time Now runs pressured, throws it away. Helmet off as Johnson does a nice job chasing him down, Rufus Johnson. And again, these are the guys we're talking about, Christian. About Rufus Johnson, about guys that are in the mix. Anthony Johnson, Gino Grissom.
A lot of Johnsons.
All part of it. As to how it will sort out, how we'll figure it out when it comes to the defense of the New England Patriots, which should be very good from what we've seen through the preseason.
I think on the whole, everybody that we've talked to, it's just good group of guys. From all the guys that were drafted to the guys that are free agents.
All right, Brad Wing with the punt. Patriots ball when we return. Take a look at this. He can't rap and he can't dance. This year, there's no question Roach is the champion.
Oh, that's terrible. I mean, seriously? Did you have to slow motion it?
We talk about jobs on the line and dreams as well. And look at the tight ends depth chart. And we know Gronk, we know Bennett, the 1-2 duo, what they're going to be like. And take a look down the bottom. Since 2000, an average of 3 on the roster. So the question becomes A.J. Derby or Clay Harbor. One, both, or neither? Christian, let's start with you.
I think, before this game started, I thought Clay Harbor, despite the fact that he missed a bunch of time, I figured that was still going to be the guy. He'd done all the things you wanted him to do in Jacksonville, but A.J. Derby has been involved in everything. He's been the #1 backup during the entire preseason. And more importantly, you go to these 2-minute looks, you go to these sub looks, these third down looks. He's the guy that's getting the football. He has played himself into the role. And unfortunately for Harbor, he just hasn't been available. So yes, I think he was probably the guy they wanted to take that spot, but A.J. Derby outplayed him. I think he makes his team.
Matt Chatham, what do you think?
I think Christian hit the nail on the head. I think when you think about Clay Harbor, I don't have any negative thoughts about the guy, but I'm trying to figure out what the role would be, and I think that's how they often look at things, through that prism. Like, okay, wait here for the reverse.
Go ahead, Matt, as Lucien picks up the first down.
Yeah, I think that they'll look and, well, where does he fit? How are we going to use him? And Christian touched on it. The A.J. Derby looks like he's really emerged to the point where, no, he's not an every down player yet, but he's a guy who looks to have earned a role in the 2-minute offense, and that's potentially how he can get himself on game day.
They'll replay second down. Let's go to Paul Perillo and Andy Hart at Foxborough. Gentlemen, your thought on behind Bennett and Gronkowski, who wins that battle?
Well, Rochi, I think A.J. Derby's a fascinating player. I think he's one of those preseason players we fall in love with. He's really productive. Then all of a sudden he has that drop from Brady last week, and it's like, uh-oh, did he just do something? And number 12 will blackball him. He's not worth keeping on the roster. Is he Zach Sudfeld 2.0? He can't hang in the big time. Then he comes back tonight and has a really nice game. I think this is a tough decision because I'm still not sold that he could be a relevant part of this team in the regular season. I think this one comes down to the wire, and I'm going to say Harbor makes it over Derby.
Paul, your thoughts?
Well, I agree with a lot of what you guys have already said, but here's the thing. Derby, I think, can get to that practice squad. And I think you always have that in your back pocket here. It also depends how you view a guy like James Devlin. Devlin is a fullback by trade, but he spent virtually the entire offseason in training camp working with the tight end. So I think you might get an extra body there. And I kind of agree with what Matt talked about with Clay Harbor. I'm not exactly sure what his role would be. What does he do really well? I think he's pretty versatile, and I know Belichick likes that, but I'm not sure exactly where he fits in. I think Derby could have the edge in terms of a pass catcher, but I think they might go with the experience of Harbor and then try to get Derby on the practice squad, use Devlin as that extra blocker.
See, I think with, great points, guys, but I just feel like based on what he's shown, I'd be nervous about putting him on a practice squad. I feel like someone would snatch him up. And it's not like you don't know what Clay Harbor can do. Yes, they gave him a bunch of money. It'd be hard to let him go. But I feel like Derby's proved himself that he can be the move guy. That's his role. He's the H-back. He's the wham blocker. No, he's not the point of attack guy, but on goal line, he's going to be the Z. And there goes Gaffney.
Tyler Gaffney rips off some more yardage, goes into Giants territory, and he gets up limping. You don't like to see that. Guys, let's transition right then and we'll go back to Paul and Andy, the running backs. Who stays and who goes out of this group, starting with Gaffney, on to Foster, all the way through.
Well, I think, Rochi, you look at the reps tonight. DJ Foster, who was a late addition to the game field because of the injury, missing all that time, got the start tonight, saw the early action. Gaffney was sort of just sitting on the bench. Now Gaffney comes in, has a nice run. It looks like he injures his ankle a little bit. I think DJ Foster has flashed enough So you want to see more of him, provide something on special teams as a potential punt returner that we've seen, and has shown the ability to, not on this play necessarily, get outside and make things happen when there isn't something there. And that's not something they've had a lot of. They haven't had a lot of guys other than Dion Lewis that when there's no big hole, can they make something happen? Foster has shown little hints of the ability to do that.
There's your depth chart. You take a look. Blunt has looked good this preseason. James White would be that third down option. And then Bolden is such a special teams guy. I just don't see. People saying maybe he doesn't make the roster. I just don't see it. He's so important to what this team does on special teams as Brissett eludes the pressure, tries to hit Derby, but it falls incomplete. Matt Chatham, your thoughts on how important a guy like Bolden can be and is to this backfield, especially on special teams?
Yeah, I'll harken back to an old teammate of mine that people would do this to. Each time we get to these fourth preseason games, they kind of forget about him and count him out. Patrick Pass was that guy for our team. He in a pinch, he could go in there and get the yards that were blocked for. He could be efficient as a runner, very reliable. They could even slide him over to fullback, and I think Bolden really has that versatility, and he's a great teams player. We don't show special teams plays on the broadcast often, so you don't get to really see the intricate work that he's doing. Bolden is a really good NFL football player. I highly doubt he'll be gone.
Well, on third and long in space, DJ Foster with the reception. And yes, don't forget Dion Lewis on the reserve PUP list as well, a guy that could come on and really help this team. We saw him explode under the season last preseason.
Yeah, and this is what, and last year it was Dion Lewis and James White, so you can have two similar players on the roster at the same point in time. But this is what DJ Foster does. And listen, he was a wide receiver in college, but he took that role on. Then Devin Lucien transferred from UCLA, and then he became the #1 receiver, but DJ Foster still played that role. He was a wide receiver, he was an X, he was a Z, but he was still a tailback. He came in to Arizona State as a tailback, so he fits the mold perfectly. He's not necessarily a matchup nightmare, but you put this guy in space, it's not going to be quite as dynamic as Dion Lewis, because I don't really think anybody is, but he's darn close to it.
Well, Bill Belichick, over the course of the years, has had one guy pretty much explode into the scene. A couple years ago it was Butler. Last year it was Dion Lewis. Is Foster showing enough here? 5 receptions and 56 yards. What he did last week against Carolina to step up and take one of those running back spots that are out there. Does he beat out a Gaffney? Does he beat out someone else? As Derby makes the reception here and does a LeGarrette Blunt and gets the first down.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, I hear you, Andy, about A.J. Derby and Clay Harbor. But I just look at what Derby has been doing. Every time he's gotten an opportunity, he's shined. And forget about this play, forget about that even before that. And when you look, if Clay Harbor is healthy, Clay Harbor should be the #2 tight end after Martellus Bennett. So if there's any YY looks, Clay Harbor should be getting those reps, but they keep putting A.J. Derby in there, which leads me to believe that the guy is separating himself from Clay Harbor.
So the former quarterback has had a strong preseason. Here's Josefa. Haven't said much of his name.
And as I say that, Clay Harbor just has a tremendous block on the edge. And that's where Clay Harbor, if you're going to look at Clay Harbor, what can he do that A.J. Derby can't do? I think he's a better inline blocker. When he was in Jacksonville, he was the move guy behind Mercedes Lewis and Julius Thomas. Okay, but he can also put his hand on the ground. He can block the edge. Derby, I don't think he can do that yet.
There's Derby again.
It's interesting you say that, Christian, because I've been watching Clay Harbor as well, and from time to time he has some really nice blocks. The inline thing I would almost say was sort of like an asterisk. Edge blocking where he's hooking guys and sort of collapsing edges, really good. Direct run where he's in line, in other words, it's coming right up your butt, you need to get moved. On a lot of those kind of plays, he gets picked up and moved back. So you can tell he's savvy. He's a veteran, he knows how to use his hands, but he's definitely sort of a mixed player. It's really not cut and dried with him.
Third down on the 15-yard line for Brissett and the Patriots trying to get back that lead. Brissett complete to Lucien. Nice catch inside the 10-yard line to set up a 1st and goal.
You get a flag on that also. Lucien's down.
Again, health, #1 factor or key here for the Patriots coming into this finale. And we've seen several players a little dinged up here.
Well, that's going to be a hold on the defense, but that was an unbelievable catch by Lucien. He's still on the ground.
After
Looks
the
like
play, personal foul. Defense, number 94 for a late hit. Penalties half the distance to the goal. 1st and goal.
Well, and Christian, I know you felt this frustration before as a player. Clay Harbor, we need to give him some credit here. That ball goes to Lucien. He makes a nice play. He gets injured. But Clay Harbor ran an excellent shake route in the middle of the field, and Brissett didn't see him. So sometimes you don't get the ball, but you still run a great route.
Yeah, you know what, and that's a great catch by Lucien, and there's a late hit by Herzlich. And I was watching that play because I was thinking, okay, this is the area where the tight end is going to be able to, do some damage. Ooh, that's a really wicked bad hit right there.
Yeah, you don't like to see that anytime.
I think you heard us talking about BC football.
Let's hope Lucien's okay. Well, concern for Devin Lucien as he took a hit from Mark Herzlich really after the play ended. Had to be helped off the field. Christian, you feel for a kid like that. Again, fighting for that NFL dream here.
Yeah, and here comes Herzlich. I mean, stand-up guy. I understand you kind of lose your mind every now and then trying to make a play. Not intentional. Doesn't want to hurt anybody.
Nice gesture for the former BC star there, and let's hope Lucien is okay. Patriots first and goal. Brissett lofts it into the end zone over the hands of Derby. Time winding down here in the third quarter.
And it's always a good sign. We were going to have this tight end conversation for a long period of time because a guy like Harbor, who you know what he can do, but he didn't have the benefit of playing the entire camp. So you almost have to judge him what he used to do and what his ceiling is before he got here, because it's really not fair to judge him on the fact that he wasn't able to play.
Right. Second and goal now.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go to the corner route all over again. This time to Harbor.
Ball on the 4-yard line. Patriots down by 4 late here in the third quarter. Brissett. Fake. Rolls out.
Throw it away.
And he does.
This is the end of the third quarter.
And that'll do it. 3 quarters in the books. 1 to go here in the preseason finale. The Patriots trying to get back and take the lead as they head home.
Brissett, and I know I'm going to throw the football. If there's nobody open, I'm going to run it. And this guy's 6'4", 235 pounds. I mean, he's built like a tight end. So if there's nobody open, no need to throw it away. Try and get some yards. This guy can do this. This is what he did at NC State. He can run with the football. He's big enough where he can make somebody pay. He can, work separation.
He called everybody back into the huddle. Told them to play again. And they got to run the football. Foster.
Holding though. Got to bring it
into
back.
The end zone, but a flag on the play. And Martin is down.
It looks like it's probably going to be holding on Keyshawn Martin, who comes into.
Martin slow to get up. And it was a hold on Keyshawn Martin.
Yeah, and that's
a double whammy for him.
Well, and it was a terrible hold also. It wasn't even. That was. Put a big spotlight on the play. And here he is. Here he is right there. Watch as the defender tries to get away. He's just holding on to him. Just let him go. And then not only does he not let him go, but he pushes him. So even if you didn't hold him and you push him, the ref's going to say, well, what are you doing?
Well, Keyshawn Martin coming over to the bench. Tyler Gaffney leaving the field, headed towards the locker room. He was limping earlier. Patriots need to get out of here healthy.
There's Harbor.
Here's Brissett. Ball batted up in the air and falls down. Incomplete pass. That'll set up 4th down, and Steven Gostkowski will come on to attempt a field goal.
So there was, DJ Foster's opportunity to score a touchdown, make up for the fumble earlier in the game. That's just going to drive you nuts. It's just you get down in the, can't have turnovers and you can't have penalties down in the red zone. Just completely complicates everything. All your plays, your advantage.
Here's Gostkowski, who missed a pair last week. We'd like to get one here to get headed in the right direction, headed towards the regular season, and it's good. Well, the Patriots creep within a point. Make it a 10-9 game. Just beginning the fourth quarter. There's Gene Steratore, who pulled a calf muscle, Christian.
Is he playing hurt?
He's out, and now Bob Wagner is our referee for the rest of the game.
Sudden change.
So we've seen some Patriots go down, and now the referee goes down. And
so it's next man up for not only the players, but for the refs. I mean, it's not just preseason for the players or the coaches, and the refs also.
Poor Gene, huh? What does he do for the next 10 days as far as rehab and get ready for the opener?
You know, I don't know. He's gonna have to suck it up.
Well, you don't like to see Keyshawn Martin get banged up. We talked about the competition at that wide receiver spot.
And Keyshawn Martin, in my opinion, is just, listen, he kind of reminds me of Brandon Bolden, but at the wide receiver position. Keyshawn Martin can rescue in a tough situation where maybe one of the wide receivers goes down. He can really play every single position up and down the line. You're not going to worry about him not knowing what to do.
Second year of the Patriots after coming over from Houston. 24 catches, 269 yards, and 2 touchdowns last year for the Patriots. As the Giants will start 1st and 10 on offense. Let's talk about the Verizon positional lineup now, Christian.
Alrighty.
Brought to you by Verizon. And again, we've talked about the defensive line and the battles in the roster spot. How do you look at what you're seeing here and who stays and who goes?
Well, I think the interesting one to me would be right here, Geno Grissom. I don't know if he's done enough to solidify himself a position. Trey Flowers looks like he's the next man up. Anthony Johnson has had a good camp. Vincent Valentine was another big fella. You got rid of Terrence Knighton, so you assume that maybe he falls into that role. Marcus Kuhn is another defensive tackle that's had a decent camp so far and has played a lot.
Giants run the football to begin. Let's bring in Matt Chatham. Matt, your thoughts on the defensive line and who goes? That's maybe the biggest question.
Yeah, that's a tough call. I'll touch on the thing that Christian talked about with Geno Grissom. I would simply say this. We know coming from Oklahoma, he was a position switch guy. He still does look pretty raw relative to the guy he's most likely competing with, that being Trey Flowers. Trey is a guy that just looks natural in his job, right? So I would look at Geno and know that he still has all 4 special teams kind of value. We keep seeing him show up out there, which makes me think they still value him quite highly. And there might have been an expectation that he would be a little slow to come along to be an every down player. So I think you're right that he will not have earned a role with the regulars, but he might still stick around because he still just has that kind of freakish body and a guy who could develop into something with another long look because, there is some investment there.
Andre Williams on the couple of carries, they get a first out. Geno Grissom is a great example here of bubble guy. I think he stays. Let's go to Paul Perillo and Andy Hart. Guys, who stays, who goes when it comes Saturday with this roster on the defensive line?
Well, I think a guy that's certainly on the rise is Anthony Johnson. He's flashed the last couple of weeks, showing some ability to be a penetrator, in that defensive tackle position. We've talked about it before, sort of the Akeem Hicks role from a year ago. They have the beef in Brown and Branch. They got rid of Knighton. Can Kuhn, maybe Anthony Johnson, those guys be a little bit more athletic from the defensive tackle position? And then when you look at Geno Grissom, as we're talking a lot here, he's just a guy that, where's his role on defense? What can he be on defense? Trey Flowers clearly ahead of him in a defensive role. And then you say, okay, maybe he's a core 4 special teams guy. But how many of those guys can you have? It feels like that list continues to grow, and maybe at some point you can't keep them all.
2nd down and 2 for New York. Nassib is going to go deep. And it falls incomplete. Well, Paul Perillo, I go to you again. Give me a name. Well, who is maybe the surprise out of this group that gets let go come Saturday?
Well, the surprise that gets let go, I'm not sure there's going to be a stunner here. I want to get back to Anthony Johnson because he's a guy that he missed a little time early in camp, didn't play much, if at all, in the first preseason game. And ever since then, I think he's shown up really strong in all 3 games, including tonight. And one of the things I really like about him, he's definitely one of those smaller guys, like Andy said, an Akeem Hicks type that can penetrate and do some of that stuff. But he's been pretty solid against the run, too. So I think he's made a really good push here late in camp. And there he is involved again right around the football, exactly. Heavy on the pass rush. He's a guy that I think is making a strong case for a roster spot. I'm not sure if he's going to make it, but he keeps making plays like this, and he's going to make it awfully difficult to get rid of.
Yeah, that was a great play. Inside rush move by Anthony Johnson. Terrible job by the tackle standing straight up, but just giving Johnson an easy route to the quarterback.
Andy sort of touched on this, and I think I don't know if I necessarily agree with on the same position, but the idea that if an Anthony Johnson makes the team, something else has to fall at another position. You can't keep them all.
Cyrus Jones on the punt return with some moves and headed towards Giants territory, but electric. That's what we've seen from him before. 34 yards after a 60-yard punt return last week.
Yeah, and that'll keep you around right here. Watch him make the first man miss, and then he's going upfield following his blocks. Got burnt on an earlier touchdown, but makes up for
Point lead. Time winding down here in this fourth preseason game, and it's time now for the Toyota Drive of the Game, brought to you by the Toyota Tundra. Tom Brady with your drive of the game in the first half, including 7 of 8 passes on this one, including a nice wheel route to DJ Foster. Brady drives his team 64 yards on the play. 9 plays, 67 yards total, 3.5 minutes. They get the job done to Keyshawn Martin.
good finish. Good job of capping off that routine.
Patriots on offense, DJ Foster with the carry.
Hey, and great job here by Clay Harbor, Christian.
Yep.
He wants it. You can tell he knows he's in a competition. Combo blocks at the second level, pancakes a guy out of bounds right at the point of attack.
Yeah, he's playing. There he is right here. They got that YY look. And then this situation, Derby's got his hand on the ground. Actually, Clay Harbor has got his hand on the ground, and Derby's playing the Z. And there he goes right there, and he's going to finish, and drop him.
Second down. Foster in the backfield with Brissett. Going to throw now, tucks it under. Gets a few and goes down near midfield.
Yeah, he's doing exactly. Listen, he's not seeing anybody open. He's like, forget it. I'm going to do it on my own. Get some yards, try and keep this drive going.
And get down. Because
Get
you're
down.
the backup.
You are the backup
for the next 4 weeks.
Well,
I mean, and this could be a scary situation for him because he's trying to make plays, but at the same point in time, we're like, listen, you got to be careful here.
Yeah, got to be smart.
Yeah, I mean, I know you want to, put a drive together.
They like you. You don't have to impress
You're not going anywhere.
Right.
You're on the team.
Third down opportunity for Brissett and his offense. He's rushed again. Avoids that. Now he's going to just tuck it under and go.
Now he's getting them.
Like in that instance.
Go ahead. He's
go
getting
sideways and get out of bounds.
He had A.J. Derby open on this play right away. Just got flushed from the pocket. You see here. No one's able to block Herslick. No one's able to block the defensive end. And Brissett's just going to try and take it and do some damage on his own.
So Brissett and the offense take a seat. Ryan Allen out to do the punting duties as time winds down here in the preseason. Bobby Rainey back deep for New York. Rainey steps up, takes it, and takes a big hit. A hush from the crowd as Camus Grugier-Hill popped him.
Yeah, and if you don't get the blocks and you got the wheels and you got the strength, might as well do it on your own. Brissett on the move. And that's Grugier-Hill playing the gunner position. He's not playing the up back. He's not playing the personal protector. That's what he did at Eastern Illinois. If you go back and you look at old film of him, they had him as a gunner in college because he has so much speed. Now he has him listed at 6'2", 220, but not sure if he's reaching 212.
Logan Thomas in for the Giants at quarterback after Ryan Nassib handled most of the duties or all of the duties prior. A little bit of run there. Matt Chatham, you had to be fired up with that Grugier-Hill hit.
Yeah, you love to see big hits like that in space, and it takes some skill. Yeah, that's why the Matthew Slaters of the world make the money they do, have the continuity in sort of this league and as leaders on teams, because they can break down in space and still deliver. It's so difficult to do. You only get a handful of those throughout your career.
Well, Matt, you bring up Matthew Slater, who signed. There's a Mingo in on the rush once again. But you talk about a guy like Matthew Slater gets an extension from the Patriots this week. What makes him so special on special teams?
Well, you know, he can run, and lots of guys in the NFL can run, but he runs and keeps his motor high even when there's contact. He's the kind of guy that he knows the double team's coming. He's smart. He plays fast. He plays through the double teams. He's resourceful. He just really does all the things you want. And then when you get off the field, he's one of the bright guys in their locker room, one of the real leaders that leads by example. So he's just a really easy roster decision to make each offseason.
Well, and he also makes it easier for the rest of the special teams unit. He gets double teamed, you know, sometimes maybe even triple teamed because of how good and how elusive he is.
Right, and it makes it very difficult in this day and age to double team a guy like that because you have options. He's an off-the-ball guy. You can motion him in, bring him in close. There's so many different ways where, you know, you're not allowed to trap a guy. And to be honest, if you're on this team and they're going to double Matt every single snap, it's great for you because now you're single block. You get to go down and make a play.
Third down from the Giants' 36-yard line. Here's Logan Thomas, eludes pressure, just dumps it near a first down to Bobby Rainey. A guy like Grugier Hill. Let's take a look at him.
Well, here he is on the coverage right here. I mean, he's going to line up and he's going to take the tight end into coverage. And initially, the tight end gets him off the ball, but watch how he recovers, stays right in his hip pocket. And Thomas wanted to throw him the football, but he just was covered. There's nothing there. Great job right there, staying with the tight end. Not allowing him to get open at all. The quarterback has nowhere to go.
The rookie out of Eastern Illinois. As they have a hard time getting their hands on Rainey here, but 70 tackles last year, 6.5 sacks, 16.5 tackles for loss. How much, Matt Chatham, how much does a guy like Grugier Hill intrigue you, and do you think he's part of this team, or is he a practice squad guy?
It's really back to Andy's point from earlier. He's starting to look like a core four, which is a very good thing and a way to make it in this league. It's a little difficult to tell really when Mingo joined the team. That's that backup, interior, off the ball, can roam and make plays guy. So I think that pushes Hill down a notch as far as a potential defensive role. So then you're looking at a core four guy, which is still a very important role. But as Andy mentioned, how many of those do you have? Can you know, usually it's in that 3 to 4 range, maybe 5. You start taking 6 core 4, 7, then it has to come from somewhere else. But I think he's probably on this team, but it gets into those conversations about the number of wide receivers or the number of backs or all those kinds of things that you can keep.
Let's go back to Andy and Paul. Gentlemen, your thoughts on Grugier Hill and what you've seen from the get-go, training camp all the way through.
Well, Roche, I think that Chatham brings up a great point here in that Mingo is sort of in that same role. And you wouldn't think of it as the number 6 overall pick in the draft and a guy who was supposed to be this elite guy off the edge. But he is now clearly a linebacker and a special teamer, getting by with his athleticism, his speed off the ball. I think that's what Grugier Hill is. And can they both stick around? Yes, I think they probably will, because Mingo has looked phenomenal tonight, and you traded a 5th-round pick to get him. And I think Bill is really high on Grugier Hill. So I think they find a way that both those guys are on the roster. But at some point, if you're Brandon King or you're one of these other guys, Geno Grissom, does it eat away at your roster spot?
Third down for Thomas. Pressured. Dumps it to Rainey. He's got some running room. Now near the 35-yard line before he's finally brought down.
It looks like Roberts maybe still feeling some of the effects of that injury he had earlier in the game, as he's in position to make that play. And Rainey just runs out of it.
Well, again, it's got to be tough, Christian, for a guy like Landon Roberts. He's had such a good camp, it's good preseason. Just wanting to make the team, you know, wanting to do everything he can to stay on that football field. He's got to be so ticked off that he got injured earlier in the game.
He's just not 100%. You can't really show exactly what you're capable of doing.
There's Rainey.
You know, I also want to touch on something that we talked about, Matt. A story that you were telling me. You talk about a guy like Mingo. Here's a guy that's the 6th overall pick in the draft, and he really shouldn't be playing right now. But if he is in this position, he needs to dominate, and he is dominating.
Right.
You can't stop him. He's involved in almost every single play, and if you're in this position playing with the 3s and the 4s, you need to dominate every single time.
Right. One-on-one matchups is inevitably what football boils down to, and they know the guy that you're across from at this stage of the game. If you're a 45-day, active day roster kind of guy, you should be beating this guy on most snaps.
7 tackles for Mingo tonight. Rainey chased down by Roberts. Good hustle by him, and you can clearly see that he's bothered.
Yeah, he's struggling, guys. He's been slow to get up a lot. I mean, I think there's some brownie points, whatever you want to call him, with Coach, because they know he's gutting it out here. I thought he was a borderline really good candidate to make the practice squad and someday be a part of this team. But, you know, he's toughed it out. He stretched it on the sideline. He limps back out here. He's in the middle of things. He's taking on guards in the hole and then chasing out in space where he's clearly limited because the injury seems to be affecting him.
Roberts chasing him down. First down for the Giants. 4.5 left to go in the preseason. Thomas off the hands of the intended receiver, incomplete. We don't talk a lot about it, but you know, you watch the Hard Knock shows, different things, Christian. The human element here. You know, it's easy to say, well, this guy should be kept, this guy should get cut, but this guy's trying to fulfill a dream. You know, it's you fulfilled it, Matt Chatham, you fulfilled it. How much at this point are you sitting there saying, gosh, I just want a shot to be an NFL player?
Well, they're getting a shot. I mean, that's the thing. And just because you don't make it on the Patriots roster doesn't mean your NFL career is over. I mean, there's going to be a lot of roster manipulation come September after everybody makes their cuts. And then once you really find out what your team is and what the personality of your team is, that's going to happen in October. You're going to see a lot of movement in September of guys getting cut. They thought they had a job, they get cut. You're going to see guys who got hurt, and now they're healthy, and somebody else needs to play. And you can look at Zach Sudfeld. Here's a guy, you know, Andy talked about him earlier. I mean, the guy makes the team. He comes out here, and the very first play against Buffalo, he's tripping out of his routes. And you can do that in practice, but you can't do that in a regular season game. They realized that he just wasn't what they thought he was, and then he gets cut.
Under 4 to go. Thomas looking for the end zone, fires. Touchdown. Roger Lewis, a rookie out of Bowling Green, extends the Giant lead. Jonathan Jones, the rookie out of Auburn, beat.
There's Jonathan Jones right here. Now, this is a beautiful throw, and it's a back shoulder throw, and watch him go up and get it at the last minute. Keeps both feet in bounds. Jonathan Jones just slow to react to it. Sometimes a perfect throw just doesn't matter. I don't care how good you have him covered. If you're in tune with your quarterback and the receiver knows exactly what's coming, you're not going to stop it. And he high points the ball. It's just a really pretty throw. Great execution right there from the wide receiver and the quarterback.
17 yards on the touchdown pass from Logan Thomas out of Virginia Tech. So Roger Lewis and Randy Bullock in for the extra point, and it's good. Patriots in a hole. We've got under 4 to go here at MetLife Stadium in the finale. Time now for our buy of the game, brought to you by CarMax. Barkevius Mingo, acquired from the Browns. Christian and Matt, you guys buying?
Oh, yeah, I'm buying on Mingo big time. You know what, Matt? I'll even do you a favor. I'll bring you in on this. I'll split the cost with you. Let's buy it together. This guy is going to be special. Just got to find a spot for him. You know, as far as just situational, maybe there's a role there. Special teams, definitely. But you can see this guy is going to be disruptive, and he can make some plays.
Yeah, I agree, Christian. I'm buying as well. I think the best thing that happened tonight, the best sign of what we saw, is the flexibility and the usage. They didn't just stick him at outside linebacker and make him press tackles all day. He's been moving all over the place. So I think they understand his skill set's a little different than what they were willing to do with him in Cleveland, and that's a very good sign.
DeAndre Carter takes a knee. Patriots will come back. 3:49 to go on the clock. Jacoby Brissett will try to bring the Pats back one more time when we return.
Well, feast your eyes, Patriots fans, because this is going to be the last time you're going to see Tom Brady for a while, but he is our Pepsi close-up player of the game. Brady got off to a rough start, but then he unleashed and got going. 16-26, 166 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and 1 nice run. Tom Brady, our Pepsi close-up player of the game. Let's go back upstairs, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Steve. We'll see you in the 5th quarter, our post-game show. Maybe not so much about Tom Brady, who got a first half of play in here tonight, and not the guy who's playing the second half of Jacoby Brissett. Christian, Matt, Andy, and Paul, let's discuss here Jimmy Garoppolo. We've seen him through preseason. We've seen him through training camp. He's going to lead the Patriots out in Arizona to the opener a week from Sunday night. How do you feel about Jimmy Garoppolo with his weapons, Gronk? Take us through everything that you expect, and what do you want to see from Garoppolo?
I think, you've seen some good and you've seen some bad. But I think you're going to see a completely different offense once they open up against the Arizona Cardinals. You're going to have all his buddies there. Gronk's going to be there, Bennett, Edelman. The offense is not going to look even close to what we've been seeing the last 4 weeks. So maybe there's a different, feel there with Garoppolo. But as long as he just holds true to the fact that you just don't turn it over. If he just plays a clean game, it doesn't have to be great. Just don't turn it over.
There's Brissett to Foster, who's got some open room, and he gets a big pickup. Matt Chatham, your thoughts on Garoppolo leading the way a week from Sunday?
Well, I think there was obviously some learning situations from a week ago, but I also think when I went back and watched the plays and saw where the errors were, it's the kind of stuff that staffs often just script out. It's like, you know what? Rather than can we get him to do that better in a week or two, let's just not put him in that position next time. 4 runoffs, nothing to check down to. He misses a blitz pickup. Let's just try to make sure that we spread things out, work the inside, make sure that there's always a low element so that in the event that he didn't read the blitz, he has somewhere to go with the ball. So I think a lot of game planning can take away some of the things that were issues. Running game plays great. We'll say that now. That's the most important thing. Running game plays great. You got a lot less concerns about your quarterback.
All right, let's go to Paul and Andy. And gentlemen, I want to look to Tom Brady in 2001 after Bledsoe went down his first 4 games. Matt Castle in 2008, his first 4 after taking over for the injured Brady. And there were a lot of ups and downs. It wasn't easy. What if the expectations may be too high, too unfair for Garoppolo going into these 4 games?
Well, Rochi, I think the Castle comparison is a great one. The only issue is, if everybody remembers, Castle was not very good in that preseason, and then he was struggling early when he started to play. It did not come easily, and then he picked it up later in the year. The only problem in this situation is Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have a later in the year. It needs to be an accelerated process. He is only playing 4 games. Now, he played in college. Castle didn't, so maybe that gives him an advantage. But I personally feel about Jimmy Garoppolo pretty much the way I did coming into training camp. He's done some good things. He's done some bad things. I have some questions about how he'll fare in Arizona. So, it's an up and a down situation for me.
Well, he'll be the guy. Paul and Andy, thanks for everything. Tremendous preseason. We're looking forward to the regular season with Jimmy and company. Well, as we wrap up the preseason, I want to let you know during the offseason we lost a valuable member of our preseason production team. Eric Norton was a Massachusetts native who lived and breathed Boston sports. Over the last few years, he headed up our stats and graphics production on our preseason broadcast. We send our condolences to his family. Eric Norton was 46 years old. And Eric Norton always had a smile on his face, happy-go-lucky. Just a good man to have around. We miss you, Eric. And we miss you, big guy. So our condolences, thoughts and prayers with his family as well. Back here at MetLife Stadium, 2 minutes to go in preseason game number 4. As we now get set to turn the page to the 2016 Patriot regular season, with Tom Brady out for the first month due to the suspension and Jimmy Garoppolo at the helm. Also want to thank our entire crew for their efforts this preseason. Producer Fran Morrison, Director Michael Frank, our executive producers Matt Smith and Dave Mondillo from Kraft Sports Productions, broadcast associate Matt Shapiro, statistician Dave Corris, technical producer Bill Lawler, associate director
Ball start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Chirag Devasker, and our incredible technical team.
Hey, how you doing?
Our photographers.
There you go. Yeah, suck it in.
Suck it in. Get ready for the regular season. Smile, guys. You're on camera.
You're on TV.
Also, the boys in tape give us the replays, work their tails off. Who give us shots of Christian dancing, if you want to call it that. Players hurdling. Guys, we thank you for your efforts. And here's DJ Foster, again, showing some electricity.
How about the guys that put together all the the cool little edits of you rapping?
Of course, Jim Thistle, who last time I saw him was on the Jersey Turnpike with a flat tire.
A 30
He has
second
since made it
timeout.
back.
That's right. You blew your tire out this
Took
morning.
us 2 hours for a 15-minute ride
You
from
were
the hotel.
freaking out, weren't you? Because you get here like 8 hours before the game starts.
Oh, brand new, beautiful car for Jim, and hits a pothole in New Jersey, and the rest is history. Yes, 2 years from now, Jim Thistle will be renting a car here in New Jersey, not using. And if you'd like a great example
Oh, no,
of what
don't do
replays
it.
are all about,
I know what you're doing. I knew it.
here they are.
I knew you were doing this. I knew Fran was going to do this to me.
You know, it's Christian. It's been a blast.
It's worse in slow motion.
well,
Can you play Steve? Can you play Steve Burton?
It's been so
Play
much
him.
fun, though, working with you.
You
And
get your arm off me, please.
You've done
Stop touching
everything
me.
well up to this point, except for that.
Off
That's one of the worst displays I've ever seen you do. As Brissett goes for pay dirt, it's bobbled and knocked away. Aaron Dobson, the intended receiver, on 4th and 1. Leon McFadden broke it up.
He gives him a shot here to get up and get this football. Nice job by the defender. He has his hand in there. If Dobson goes up and high points it like he did the earlier catch, maybe he's got a shot.
Exactly.
You know, it's funny. We're talking about Jimmy Garoppolo, and we talked to him. I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and just talking about this whole, the relationship between Tom and him, and he said, what has Tom told you? What has he coached you up on? And it was how to deal with the media.
Right.
That's the most important thing, how to deal with the media. So, he'll be doing his, Monday interviews with Minahan and Callahan on every Monday, and then good luck to him, because those guys they'll wear you out.
Well, he's an easy kid to root for, too, when you watch him. And by the way, here are the key dates when it comes to what's going to happen with this Patriots football team. Next Saturday is the big one, as the rosters this coming Saturday get cut down to 53 players, 4 o'clock on Saturday. The day after, you get your 10-player practice squad. That'll tell a lot if guys, who ends up on that practice squad. And then it starts for real a week from Sunday night at Arizona, a difficult test for Garoppolo and the entire Patriots team starting out this 2016 season.
Yeah, and the coaches got to make these decisions quick. There's a bunch of guys that you already know, they're on the team, they're not going anywhere. But right away, they'll start having these discussions on the plane ride home, first thing tomorrow morning. And you'll have a pretty good idea based on just the entire preseason who's on it and who isn't.
And let's take a look at the first 4 games that Garoppolo will start anyway. Week 1 at Arizona, on to the Dolphins, Texans, and Bills. 3 games at home at Gillette Stadium. Realistic expectations? What do you think? We were thinking 3-1, Christian. Can he do that? 2-2, would you be happy with that?
Oh, I'd be happy with, anything other than anything below 500, I think, is a disappointment, especially with this defense. The Pittsburgh Steelers did it in 2010. Ben Roethlisberger did not play for the first 4 games. They ended up being 3-1, but they relied heavily on their defense. I think this team is going to be led by their defense. They're going to put them in good positions. We've seen that they can get the ball, they can get turnovers, and they can score with it. If he just doesn't put them in any bad situations, the offense is going to have multiple opportunities, but you talk about playing the game on the road with a lot of noise. Who knows what they're going to do with that roof? Are they going to try and keep it hot out there?
Curious to see what Chandler Jones does.
Well, yeah,
what he's telling his team about what they can do.
I'm sure he can't wait to get his hands on Garoppolo and ragdoll him a couple times. It's going to be that offensive line to keep him safe.
Don't forget, stay tuned after tonight's game for the Toyota postgame report, where we'll recap tonight's game and look ahead to the 2016 season. Number 12 won't be there for the first 4 games. He has to vacate the premises starting Saturday.
Yep.
He's got to go away for a month. It'll be a strange start to the season. We know that. Swing with a punt out of bounds. Patriots will have one last possession.
And they'll just come out and take a knee. No need to risk injury at this point in time. Game is over.
And the one thing we got to talk about too, Christian, is the defense. If they continue to do what they've done in the preseason, turning the ball over, forcing turnovers, it'll help make the pressure of the pressure on Garoppolo. It'll ease that.
I think it's the defense is the story. Now, you haven't had your full complement of stars out there on offense. I get that. But the offensive line is the offensive line. The only position that was really up in the air was right guard. And I think Josh Klein, in my opinion, has pretty much solidified himself as the starter at right guard. Hopefully Solder's fine. But that's it. You've seen those entire guys start the entire preseason except the right guard position.
11 takeaways for that D we mentioned, and then the offensive line. Yes, here's Brissett. One last chance, gets it to Foster. He's been electric. Anytime he touches the ball, he has a chance to do something.
I thought they just take a knee, but they want to run one more play.
Won't have time. That'll do it. That's the last time you'll see Tom Brady for a month. It'll be interesting to see how this team is, what they're all about come October when the Patriots visit Cleveland. Stay tuned. The Toyota postgame report is coming up. We'll be right back. The Patriots go 3-1 preseason 2016.